microwaving something out of the freezer because
Mm.
I am now on week 4 of I don't have a working refrigerator.
Oh, that sucks.
Mm.
We are live. Welcome, my friends, and
Oh,
welcome back to the Krieg Dominion. I am Omar Krieg, your Lord and Commander of the Krieg Dominion, and your host for this brand new Series 1, Series Premiere, Episode 1. I don't even know what I'm saying. Numbers don't mean anything to me anymore. Unless I have dollar signs, and I don't have any dollar signs in my pocket. So, anyway, this is Episode 1, our premiere for Beyond the Frontier, a continuation, a Season 2, or Campaign Deuce, from our Along the Frontier campaign that resolved a few weeks ago. So we have our returning members, we have returning characters, we have new characters, we have new situations developing. We'll get into all that in a little bit. This is our first episode, as I said, and the name of this episode is The Island. With me, with me tonight are, of course, my wonderful players, Rodance, Luke, and Kane. Let's take a moment, check in with each of them. It has been a few weeks since we last saw each other. More time for me than it was for them because they had a little hangout thing last week, which was pretty cool that my players are doing that of their own accord. But yeah, let's check in with them and see what's new and exciting. We'll start with Rodance because I'm not looking at the Zoom window at all, so I have no idea if she's even paying attention right now.
oh,
Rodance.
I'm paying attention.
Oh,
I
good.
just am also multitasking. I know how to send emails without staring at them. So yeah,
Neat trick.
I am now on like week 4 of the saga of my refrigerator doesn't work. Now, I have a French door refrigerator with a freezer on the bottom.
I
The
remember.
freezer's fine.
Yeah.
The first time they came out, they diagnosed the issue saying that the blower fan, the thing that pushes the cold air from the compressor at the bottom to the top half, was broken. 4 or 5 days later, or like 4 days later after the part comes to my house, they're out, they replace it. Gave it 2 days. Fridge never came back to temp. Call them out again. They come out again. They're now standing there. They call their supervisor. This is appointment 3, 2.5 weeks in. Debating with their supervisor on if it's the thermos, if it's the temperature sensor, or if it's the little flap thing that switches back and forth between freezer and refrigerator. So the next section up the chain from the blower motor that was clearly dead before. So they have their whole thing. They discuss. They order a part. I am now on cancel appointment number 3 because every time they try to come out, they go to the parts locker and cannot find the part that I have already paid for and that I have already paid for the next time for them to come out and do, and I paid for labor and all that stuff.
And
So I'm gonna have
theoretically,
to
if you've
call.
paid them for the part, they're supposed to have or order and get and then do the work.
Exactly. Except that now we're on like
Technically.
3rd time now of canceled because they can't find the part.
I think they would have figured it out by now.
Well, I literally called, like, because that was Friday. They were supposed to come Friday. I literally called Wednesday, talked to the people, and they said, hey, we see the part. It was supposedly delivered, so it should be there for the technician to grab before they head to your house. I'm like, cool. It's my part. Like, I paid for it. It's like a stupid, like, $70 little part that you take a thing out, you put a thing in. It's at the point. It's now like the point of the matter more than it is anything else. Like I could go Amazon shop and probably buy the stupid little whatever it is myself.
Probably.
I just don't want to have to dig in the fridge to do it.
No,
And I've already paid for it.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to.
It's
And as you've mentioned,
it's the point now. It's not the.
Yeah.
And now I'm just living with the inconvenience because now I'm just dropping all of my delivery factor meals in the freezer instead of in the fridge. But it just irritates me because I can't buy coffee
Sponsored
creamer.
by Factor.
What's that, Luke?
Sponsored by Factor.
Factor.
That's
Come on, help a brother out.
Look. It's one of those where living by yourself for 5 of the 7 days of the week means I'm not cooking for one person. I don't want to do that. My life has I have better things to do with my time in my life than to cook and waste money because buying anything for one person is egregious.
And real easy way to lose food and thus also money. You have to be very, very careful about what you purchase. Otherwise, it'll go bad by the time you get to it. Depending on what it is. Luke, what's new and exciting for you, my friend from the north? Also known as Starkland. I mean, Canada.
To be fair, we're probably actually west and east from each other.
Yeah, there is a definite lateral shift from where I am to where you are. But you are also probably more north, but not by much, I don't think.
No, I mean it was like 35 today. That's Canadian temperatures.
Okay, so in
Yes.
Canadian temperatures, what does that 35 translate to in American temperature or freedom units?
I'm not really sure. Probably like 80 or 70 something, I
That sounds
guess. I
about
don't
right.
know.
Yeah, about 80s, maybe 90. I don't know.
Uh,
See, I mean, it's pretty
uh,
warm for you.
yeah, yeah. We got a
Lucas or
tournament
Kane is looking
happening.
it up. I see. Oh, you're muted, Kane.
Okay.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
so
looking to see
tournament's
what the
coming up.
temperature was today.
Sorry, go
Oh,
ahead, Luke.
nice. Yeah, so tournament day is coming very soon. A lot of training for that. Doing the working at Uber is not actually that bad, but also kind of depressing. Um, I've driven so much in the last several weeks.
I
Um,
bet.
I don't even know anymore. I probably could have like made it anywhere across North America at this point.
I remember when I was doing DoorDash for a handful of weeks between graduating college and starting the job that I am in now that has absolutely nothing to do with my degree. Um, was driving easily 200 miles a day in my personal vehicle.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something, when it's your personal vehicle and that kind of mileage, you're just like, your maintenance costs are going to go up ridiculously high. Like, I was basically driving like a quarter or half a tank of gas every day. So then I'm filling up basically every other day. Not to mention, all that mileage, and you got to go and get oil changes and other services.
Yeah.
But you can keep
Overtime.
the receipts and write that off as income tax thingies.
I have been keeping my receipts.
Well, it's not only that on an American tax code, you get mileage and expenses.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when I was doing my bit of DoorDash, I was not doing enough to make a difference on my tax return.
Yeah, because you
Mhm.
have to beat the single standard withholding, and
Yeah.
that's like 12 grand.
Yeah, I was not making nearly enough. or rather, I didn't have enough stuff to claim. But I digress. We're talking about you, not me, sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, so I literally just got here like probably 10 minutes before the Zoom call started, and I was like, oh, that's right, I have a game tonight. So so here I am, and I'm like, yeah, great.
Nice.
I remember what's happening.
Yeah, I know what's going on. I'm totally in control right now. Kane?
Yeah, pretty much.
Kane, what do you got for us, man? What's new and exciting for you?
Been raining and storming for like 6 fucking days.
Good Lord.
Oh, is it raining and cold there too?
It is. Mr. Canada saying it was 32, and I'm like, in the past 6 days, it hasn't been higher than 22 here.
Yeah, it's a glorious 56 Fahrenheit, or according to my phone, that is 13 Celsius right now.
I wish
We
it
were
was
hitting
that
a
low,
steamy
by the way.
rain.
Oh, and as a side note, Kane and I discovered we basically live on opposite sides of the same mountain from each other.
That's awesome.
We actually live very close to each other.
That's amazing. That's awesome. I love when
Day
I hear
trip
shit like that happen.
It's crazy.
Oh, you mean you're on the other side of that dumbass mountain?
I mean, mountain, it's plural.
Sure,
it's
no,
range.
I get it. Yes, I totally understand. It was like, so I'm on social media one day and somebody posted a picture of the one mountain in Washington State that's fairly freaking iconic, Rainier Mountain or Mount Rainier, and so they posted a picture of it. I'm assuming from something like their backyard or something. And I'm like, hey, I know that mountain. And I had to quickly throw out an addendum, like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be creepy or stalkery.
I also feel like Rodance and I have already played like the first 20 sessions of this game with ChatGPT.
You guys were.
Yeah, that's why.
Go ahead.
This is why I was so lost as to where we were and stuff. I'm like, I feel like I missed something, and it was like I couldn't catch up. And I think last meeting, I believe me and Rodance talked last Tuesday, if I remember.
Yeah.
And she explained to me that I really didn't miss anything. It was just all like hypothetical, and I'm like, okay.
Okay, so the
We
way
were
it
just having
happened
fun
was
with it, yeah.
I was talking with Kane, and then Kane lost power, and then I was talking with Rev, and then Rev wandered off because girlfriend,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I was talking with Luke while he was working.
Yeah, I
And then
saw
you were
all
talking
that.
to Jeremy.
I forget what exactly I was doing
I
that
was
night.
being polite, not name dropping your friend.
Whatever. He can survive.
I don't remember exactly what I was doing that particular night. But I know when you guys were like, let's have a little get together, whatever. I was like, God, that sounds awesome. But I just, between work and everything else, like I wasn't feeling it. And if I remember right, I was not working the next day. So I was like, I'm just going to veg out and fuck off and play video games or whatever. And so you guys were doing it. And every now and again, I'd check the Discord. And it was like, so I started, and it started with Renance and Kane. And then like an hour or two later, it's like Renance and Rev. I'm like, okay, I didn't see that combo coming, but whatever, it's fine. And then, like an hour or two later, Luke popped in there. At some point, Luke popped in there for a little while. I was like, okay, all right, bet. And then I saw the message at like 3 or 4 hours later. It's like, hey, are you good? I was like, oh shit, what happened?
Well, he just poof,
Yeah.
right in the middle of saying something. Right before we got into I was trying to engage both of them in a story from one of my other games about a 50 caliber sniper rifle with ammo that shreds vampires. Because I was trying to engage both of them. Because
Yeah.
Kane will talk guns and Rev will talk guns.
Oh, Rev. Yeah.
Rev is a bit of a hobbyist.
Yes.
I was trying to come up with topics that they would both enjoy talking about, and Kane had just pooped.
And the electricity said, nah, you're good. You don't need, nah.
Electricity said, no, I got you, bro. Come with me.
Yeah, the power grid here was like, you already have a spending problem. You don't need more guns. Stop it.
Oh, so if you're one of those, if you ever come out here, I need to go take you over to my mom's and my stepdad's house, because I have never once walked into that house when my stepdad hasn't been. So I have this new toy.
Oh gosh.
Oh, I have a new toy actually.
Uh-oh.
My stepdad is one of those ones who likes accessories and the neck thing. There's a word for it. Gorget.
Gorget, yeah. Gorget.
Gorget if you're English, gorget if you're French.
Yeah. Actually, this is gonna have to go around this thing. And
it's shiny.
And it goes.
Too.
It is. And made of like metal.
So it's okay, so it's metal.
The inside is leather.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's nice and comfy.
I would, unless it's cleaning, that's going to be fun because people sweat on their necks a lot. If it bugs you, the tip I learned from my small toe dip into SCA was handkerchiefs, like just the plain square cotton ones where you can wrap them around. If you put it under, it'll help absorb the sweat, or sweatbands, but those are weirdly kind of tight on the neck. And
I feel like that would be a little restrictive on the breathing.
Yeah, so it's improving my posture a lot because it's like really like solid.
Yeah, bet. That's awesome. Well, let's begin, shall we? And speaking of beginning, we don't even have a previously on or anything like that because, well, it's the beginning of a new series. We begin with what is commonly referred to as a cold open.
We'll be sprinkling the previouslys throughout the season.
Yeah, why not? Our story begins in a sterile, squared interview room, stainless steel walls, stark white tile floors, and brilliant fluorescent lights above. A single door in and out, with a respectable table in the center of the room, a fairly comfortable but somewhat Spartan-esque chair on either side of the table. Seated opposite the door is a man in a full corporate suit, impeccable, well-fitted, spotless, immaculate. In front of him are a number of manila folders, one of which is opened. On the tab of that folder, we see the name Warren Matthew, Captain, Solovetsky Island, in big, blocky, bold letters. On one side of that open folder is a full-face image of Warren. The other is a stack of papers that begin with the words, contract, binding and enduring, Great Mother mission. It is an ominously silent for a few beats rather, as the man simply sits, waiting patiently, stoically, hands folded on the table before him. After a moment, Warren, you enter, and this is your opportunity to tell us, the viewers, what your character looks like. What is he wearing? What kind of mood is he in? What's going on with Warren? Explain, describe.
Okay. So Warren, a probably around 5'10", 5'11", 200-pound man, slicked back, top cut. He is evidently missing an eye, but he's got his nice prosthetic in today, but he is clanking around with his metal leg that he likes to have as a basic reminder, as he lost that thing pretty bad.
He lost that thing.
And yeah, he lost that thing, and he likes to remind himself that he can't have the hubris to lose the next one. And clothing. I suppose this is a corporate environment, so he'd have probably like a blazer on.
I'm specifically limiting the field of view in our establishing shot to this particular interview room, but I will say that you probably, having just come from your ship, maybe
okay, so
you
wearing
are
like
in
an officer's
a
uniform,
coverall or work duty uniform, or you may have cleaned up knowing that this appointment was coming. I leave the selection to you.
Yeah, he's gonna clean up a little bit. Not quite jeans, so as to not offend corporate life.
Yes. Okay. Anything else before I move along?
No, you can move along.
Okay. Imagine, if you will, of course, that you have been summoned to this place. You know you need to sign yet another contract because your station aboard the ship has changed yet again. And we won't get into the particulars as to the nature of those changes, but you know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
As you enter, the agent sitting across from you will stand and extend an arm in a handshake towards you, introducing himself as Agent Smith. And he will offer that handshake and some water if you would like.
I will refuse the water, but I will give him the handshake. And pleased to meet you, Agent Smith.
A pleasure.
Matthew
Thank
Warren.
you. Thank you. Please have a seat, Captain Warren. As I'm sure you're.
He clanks his.
I'm sorry.
He clanks his way to the chair.
Yep. He sits back down himself, and he starts going through the paperwork. We have the obligatory grabs the whole stack of paper, stacks it against the top of the desk, and then sets it back down again. For completely no reason whatsoever. But, that's what people do with paperwork. I know this because I have worked with paperwork.
Yeah, it's stronger than anyone.
Yeah. He says, I'm sure you are aware, of course, this is not your first time doing this, but, we need to ensure that all the paperwork and records reflect the actions of the expedition accurately, given the very nature of the mission, and, of course, what it will mean for future generations. You understand, of course. I recognize this is your second or third time doing this, and he extends a pen towards you. But please, take your time to review this contract, and when you're ready, we'll sign.
Okay.
And while you are perusing, so we get a camera shot of you going through this many pages document, right? I'm going to read the actual contract, which thankfully for the viewers is not that long compared to what you see in front of you in character. So this binding contract is signed between Matthew Warren, employed as the captain aboard the UNCSS Solovetsky Island and the United Nations Interstellar Settlement Corps, for a minimum duration of either 4 years or 1 day after all the Far Spinward Colonies have been formally assessed, whichever is the sooner, at the rate of 960 Wayland Yutani dollars per expedition week, or 1/4 pay during periods of hypersleep. The mission parameters and your responsibilities under this contract are as follows. Establish contact with the Far Spinward Colonies and provide immediate humanitarian support as necessary. Survey the sector and establish new UN-administered colonies. Recover existing colonial records for each colony stored in local long data disks. Negotiate terms under which surviving colonies should return to the UNISC oversight. Assess the future technological, industrial, and financial potential. Adhere to all Interstellar Commerce Commission protocols and regulations and collaborate in the spirit of the greater good. The Great Mother mission consists of the colony vessel UNCSS Ileana, the 4 science exploration vessels, the Umsadisi, I don't know if I said that right, I'm sorry if I didn't, the Solovetsky Island, the Chimato no Kami, and the Typhoon, and the 3 support vessels of Throop, Rescue, and Recovery. Crew is from the Three Worlds Empire, United Americas, Union of Progressive Peoples, and independent contractors with sponsorship by Weyland-Yutani, Hyperdyne Corporation, Omnitech Resources, and the Kellen Mining Company. The mission comes under the auspices of the United Nations Interstellar Settlement Corps under the command of UN Governor Kowa Abantu. Again, I probably butchered that name. Additional bonus salary may be earned for finds, discoveries, or resource rights once any claim has been registered, logged, passed all Interstellar Commerce Commission regulatory checks, including obligatory quarantine requirements where necessary, and its value formally assessed. All wages will be forfeit if you fail to meet your responsibilities and your conduct fails to reach the minimum standards of behavior and professionalism as noted in the Articles of Employment, pages 17 through 51. Welcome aboard the Great Mother Mission. And I imagine there's like, everything I just read is probably being like some sort of background overlay. You know, like when somebody's writing a letter to their family back home.
Oh
and,
yeah, it's in like perfect script there.
yeah, exactly. And so there's probably like somebody in the background reading that as you're flipping through page after page after page. The monologue is reading the important parts.
Okay.
I'm assuming you're going to sign this, but I don't want to say that you're going to sign it. I want you to say that.
He is going to sign it.
Okay.
He would like a copy of this contract in his brain bubble.
We will absolutely forward a digital copy of this contract for you in just a few minutes, in fact. Do you have any questions, Captain Warren?
So the job is find the colonies, assess why they failed, get any artifacts, come home, and obey the Weyland-Yutani Code of Conduct. In
the most shortest manner of speaking, yes. There's a lot more to it than all of that, of course, as you will see. But we, of course, have the utmost confidence in your capabilities of completing this task. You have several other captains that you'll be able to interact with, as well as your own crew, to ensure that the mission is a success. Or that if it fails, it will be not from a lack of due diligence on your part.
Absolutely. I will revise my role as I go. I will sign this immediately. Okay. And when do we leave?
I believe your ship is already in preparation for movement to the Ileana, and so you will be departing, I imagine, within the next day or two. It is unfortunate that the incident had taken place, otherwise perhaps your ship would have met with the Ileana already. I digress. I am only here as a corporate agent to make sure the contracts are updated as needed, in lieu of the previous captain.
Excellent.
Any other questions?
Thank you very much. Thank you, Agent Smith. I think I have all the information I need.
Excellent.
He signs it.
Yep, and then when you're done signing, he'll stand up again, shake your hand, I should say, and he says, "If you go back out the way you came in, you will easily find your way back to the shuttle bay, and a transport, of course, will be waiting to transfer you back over to your ship." And as we have the scene of Matthew Warren, metal leg, prosthetic eyeball, I shouldn't say hobbling. I'm sure you're moving at a fairly decent gait.
Pretty useful. Pretty used to it now.
He got hooked up with a really nice prosthetic.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
Sure he did.
But he wants the chrome. He likes
Yeah,
it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know actually what the prosthetic is. I think you sent me a couple pictures, Kane, of what it would kind of be like.
Yeah,
It's
I
probably
sent
got
you
all the fixins.
Yeah. I sent you a picture of the in-universe, like, really good issue marine leg. So
Yeah, it's basically still a metal leg, but you kind of cut off the jeans, or you kind of roll it up or whatever, and then, or you can cover it or whatever,
I mean,
however you want.
the way that guy was wearing it, his pants ended at just above his knee because that's where the amputation was.
And they wanted to showcase it too, so I mean, just...
Yeah, I mean, if you want to show it off, sometimes some people want to show it off. Listen, you put chrome on it, you're gonna want to show it off. That's all there is. I'm okay with
I
that.
mean, all right, it's polished.
Yeah. So we get, as you move from this office back to the shuttle bay, we get the camera doing the gradual following you, but gradually pulling it back, revealing more. And we see that this is actually a mid-sized orbital facility above a blue-green and unspecified world. And then our closing shot is of you boarding the shuttle that then pulls out of the station, pivots, and then rockets off for a moment or two towards a ship that looks a lot like, for the viewer's sake, if you've watched the movie Prometheus, that is the type of ship that they are going to be traveling upon.
All right, closing shots. Good night, guys.
Where is Octavia? Don't answer that question, Rodance. Are you good with your work stuffs?
Hey, I'm here.
Okay, just making sure. Just making sure. I'm gonna ask you a question, and I need you to have an answer, but don't provide the answer. Okay. The question is where is Octavia? Octavia chooses but does not tell anyone where she wandered off to before she went to sleep last. Because I believe part of her, I don't want to say mental condition, although that might be the best word to use, is that she doesn't really sleep well anymore, and so she finds the little itty-bitty nooks and crannies to crawl into and disappear in, and then goes to sleep, because she can't sleep anywhere else. I believe is how that works.
Yes, roughly. That is an acceptable paraphrase.
Yes. Unfortunately, your brother and sister are actively looking for you. You have no idea that this is going on. So, if you would, please direct your attention to the ship. And for simplicity's sake, let's keep it to, like, deck A. Because there's, like, 3 whole-ass decks. I don't feel like playing this game that far.
Do you want to turn off token vision so we can just see the map?
Yeah.
Oh, did I not have that on there? I apologize.
I mean, either that or you can just drag our featureless tokens onto the screen.
Okay. Let's do that one. All right. You guys should see. Am I crazy now? You should see.
Yep.
Well,
So
I am
is this
crazy.
deck A?
Yes, this is deck A.
Okay.
So, again, don't tell us because I actually have to do a few things. But the number of times I roll will actually have an impact on what that means for your character and her capacity as a member of this ship's crew. So, Finn and Nina are looking for Octavia. And we get a camera kind of like hovering around them, watching as they kind of skirt from one room to the next, looking under cupboards, looking under, the starship equivalent of the kitchen sink, looking in all the little nooks and crannies. So the way this will work is one of these two crazies will roll an observation test. Let me get to one of them. Let's go ahead and put that one on there. Let's put that one there. They're going to roll an observation. And on a success, let me see, they get a clue of sorts pointing them in the correct direction towards you. Multiple successes reduce the amount of time spent. Other than that, it's just one success to get a clue. Does that make sense, Red Ants?
Uh-huh. I have a specific room in mind.
Okay. So.
And she is not moving. She would be sleeping.
Yeah, she's definitely out. Wow, Finn has one observation. Maybe I should use the other one. Let's see, what does she got? She also has one observation. Amazing. All right. Our first one. We have no successes. I'm not going to get these guys stressed out, although that would be amusing. Okay, well, I need to make note of that roll there. So let me grab this nifty little trinket on my desktop. All right. I guess I'm just gonna keep rolling and see how bad this gets. Hey, you've got a success. All right. So now I need some sort of clue, some sort of guidance as to where you are. Don't give it away, of course. I have to actually get into that room.
I'm trying to remember which side is port and which side is
Port
starboard.
is left.
She
Starboard
is
is
on the
right.
starboard half of the ship.
She's on the starboard side. Okay. That makes sense. There's more rooms over that way for her to go and hide and do things. So let's see what Finn and Nina can come up with. Oh, hey, look, another success. And that was 3 rolls. I need to fix the counter here. All right, go ahead and give me another clue as to where she might be as the camera
If
follows.
you
It's
divided
starting
the
to get
ship in
frantic.
half,
Go ahead.
front to back, she would be in the aft portion.
She's in the aft portion. Okay. They're going to start
So
looking.
I've given you a quadrant of the ship now.
Yes, you have.
It's only 1/4 of it.
Yes. They are going to start searching a bit more slowly, a bit more, that's what's the word I'm looking for? Moving with purpose and specificity as far as every cabinet, every door, everything. Looking in the science boat and moving up through the science 1, science 2, and science 3. Oh, that's a fail. Okay, well, I guess it's just going to take us even longer. Actually, no, that was... Hold on. I might be doing this slightly wrong. So that was 1 fail. So 2 fails. And every fail... Let's reduce it. Okay, I know what I'm doing. Alright, so that was actually 2 now. Let me get on that. There we go. Alright, and again, roll again. Oh, we got 2 successes. So this actually takes that number back down to 1. And now you got to give us a little bit more of a clue as to where you might be. They're closing on you. They're getting it narrowed down.
So you've listed specific rooms you've already checked. She is not in any of them.
Okay.
And there realistically is only 2 more rooms in that section.
Correct. So they are going to check out the quiet room and start looking in all the nooks and crannies. I got another success there as well. Is she in the quiet room?
She is not.
She is not. Well, that takes us into the science stores and a success there.
She is in the science stores in the corner, probably under like a bench.
Okay.
Because this is storage. So it's like bench and then shelves.
Yeah.
She's probably just curled up under like the lowest shelf.
Yeah.
Of something like under the bench.
It probably has like her Marine Corps whoopee with her. Those of us that have served in the military know exactly what that is.
Yeah, she probably has her whoopee.
The whoopee.
I found my whoopee the other day completely by accident. I didn't realize I'd put it in my hallway closet. I was looking for something else, and I opened up the closet like, oh, there's my whoopee.
I know exactly where my whoopee is, and it is not easily accessible right now.
All right, well, Rodance, you are, I guess, jerked awake by Finn and Nina. And they're both, like, scrambling at you, like, energetically and insistent that you get up and get into your science labs and make sure all your crap is secured.
I look at them and like, I did that last night at 2 a.m.
We're getting ready to get underway. When the engines kick off, there's some fragile gear in there that you got to make sure it's strapped up. You know that. Come on, you're the lab doc now.
She is irritated because she actually did that in the middle of the night while everyone else was asleep, and now she was sleeping during the day because she couldn't sleep last night.
Yeah.
So she gets up and she drags them through and points out in every single instance where she has already secured everything down.
Okay, so as you enter the science labs, whichever room you want to go into first, there is, let me get to my...
we'll go with Science 1 first, because that's the closest up.
So in Science 1, as you enter that particular area, as soon as you... it's almost like magic or coincidence or something, but as soon as you cross into that room, there is a jarring motion all throughout the ship. Now, to be clear, what it is all of the engines have just fired off as you guys have broken away, or not broken away, but basically started a maneuver to link up with the Ileana. As this happens, there are a number of cabinets and cupboard doors and things that were secured that suddenly rattle and shake and burst downward. I need you to roll a 1d6 for me, please.
Okay. Five.
Okay. In the process, once the ships, I don't know what the alien universe uses in place of like alluvial dampeners or inertial dampeners, as other science fiction franchises calls it, but they do have artificial gravity on their ships, so there's some sort of compensation. So the engines kick, and then the ship compensates, and then everything's smooth again. In that time of it kicking and before it went smooth again, a bunch of your stuff got rattled. And you rolled a 5. So what that means is, as you're looking around at various pieces of, beakers that shatter, maybe some equipment that gets roughed up a bit as it gets shoved around in the few seconds of rattling, is that you've got about $50 worth of damage that needs to be repaired. In other words, basically, you have to spend $50 to fix your shit before you can use it.
She's definitely feeling a little pissy about it.
I'm sure
Because she had us secured everything down last night, and then someone fucked with it.
Your brother and sister are looking at you like, I tried to get you in here faster, but no, you had to go and hide. They don't look like... I want to be clear. They are not pulling a prank on you. They were trying to help you, and it didn't work because it took too damn long to find you.
Yeah. Well, I don't have $50 to my name at the moment, so that'll be fun.
Which one of them is the mechanic again? Finn? Or is he the... No, he's the pilot.
Nina. Nina's the mechanic.
Nina says, listen, we can get this fixed up when we get mated up with the Ileana. They've got workshops and stores and whatnot on the ship. We've got workshops here. We'll get it fixed. We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. Let's just get this cleaned up before we get docked and all that. And she starts looking around for like a broom or something.
Yep. Finn is the pilot.
Yep.
The other one, anyways.
Yep. We have our first flashback scene. And this is obviously a flashback scene because the quality of the film is suddenly very different. Older, even. And the coloring has gone to something close to the monochrome black and white, but not quite. We are on board an old cargo ship, and two people in what appears to be the mess section or lounge of that ship. And there is a distinct layer of, like, things that have been used, dirt, grime. It's clean, but it's got that well-used look. I want you to imagine something like an old RV camper from the 1960s that has been maintained, but it's just got that very, very old look. Does that make sense, Kane?
Yeah.
That's what your ship looks like, inside and out. It looks like it's been maintained, but it just looks old, dingy. Like, it could use with a very solid reupholstering and just remodel everything, modernize it all. But this is your ship. That's definitely another feeling that you have at this moment. This is your ship. You, Karen Eckhart. And she's sitting there looking at you. She notices that look on your face and she says, but most importantly, as the camera pans around and focuses on her face, her hair no longer up in military regulations, allowed to just be whatever, wearing her basic coveralls, this ship is ours. And we can go wherever we want. And you could tell she's got that stupid sparkle in her eyes that you've only seen a few times before. She's got that sparkle that I'm happy. This is amazing. This is awesome.
He'll like run a finger over a console and look at the dust and say, I was hoping it'd take longer before I missed having boots around.
She actually does laugh a little bit. She's like, oh, are you missing your little battle buddies? Now, I want to be clear. When she says your little battle buddies, there's absolutely this is absolutely a joke, right? Like, she's not trying to get under your skin. But maybe this time, right now, it actually kind of digs a little. I'll leave it up to you.
There's a little bit of a pause, and he says, I do, weirdly. I hope they landed as well as it looks like we are right now.
Well, for you and for them, I hope that is the case. Now, come on. And she pulls out, let's just say a laptop, something like a laptop. And she says, let's figure out where we're going to go next. There's a bunch of jobs. There's this great mother mission thing supposed to take off later this year. I don't think you really want to wander off into the end of nowhere, though. I mean, where are we going to
go? Wouldn't that involve signing up for some other person's command and not just us?
I don't know. I didn't read all the details. It does look interesting, but I don't know. They're talking a lot about it, though. The UN and fucking UPP even. I can't believe they got signed into this.
I don't know. Certainly nothing that I give a shit about. This one here, it's cargo. Lets us keep our privacy. Let us figure things out. And the weather there looks really nice. It's nice, thick foliage. Air is probably good quality. We could probably, I don't know, spend a week.
What does Pike look like?
Get there a little early.
What does Pike look like in this scene as you guys are perusing these different job offers and trying to figure out where to go to next?
So Pike is in he's in Pike-sized overalls.
Pike-sized overalls. Something I'm reminded of the Pike-evader. Sorry, please continue.
The Pike-evader. He's got the sleeves rolled up partway up his forearms because that's probably about as far as he can roll those sleeves up.
Yeah.
And he's got some grease stains. It's clear like he walked through, he poked at a few things, and he's got like all around his waist, he's got a belt with some tools hanging off of it, and he's got a book that is the Haynes for this model ship.
I see what you did there. You're obviously referring to Jane's Fighting Ships or whatever the name of that series is.
And he's got a bunch of Post-it notes, all sticking out of the sides of it.
It's his work Bible.
Yeah, it's his new work Bible. But like he's still wearing his same marine boots.
Of course.
But he doesn't look confused. He doesn't look as stressed out as he did for that whole campaign. He's in this weird place where his energy is very relaxed, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not checking things. He's not armed. He's got tools. He's just sort of in the moment.
Okay.
And it's really weird since everybody up to this point has seen like his trying to be in the moment before was very much just compartmentalizing the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, like how do I deal with this bullshit right now in order to deal with the shit that's coming inevitably next?
Yeah, and it was always like how to force your way through the next 10 minutes, whatever that was.
Yeah.
But right now, it seems like he's very much in just the moment of this is our ship. But as he's sort of like looking and considering the different jobs that she pulled up, there's very much a like future prospect in the way that he's talking about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even the way he was like, hey, if we do a cargo run, it can help us figure out our, get in our groove here, figure this whole thing out.
I think you get a lot of
there's a lot of future talk in his manner.
Yeah. And you get a lot of like solid feedback and support from the way she's responding, right? Like she's picking up what you're putting down. And she's like, hey, all right, well look, listen, this is an easy cargo run. We've got more than enough room for it. Let's grab this one. We'll take it where it's got to go. We'll enjoy what we see there. And then we'll figure it out, as we go. We don't have to plan everything. We just got to make it through the next, the next job, right?
Yeah, we see if cargo's our groove. We've got
a whole ship.
We got fucking choices. Yeah. I don't even know.
Yeah. All right, well, listen, speaking of choices, let's go get some damn cleaning supplies. This fucking place is a mess.
It's a fucking disaster. Yeah. I'm on it.
All right, and so the scene closes there. We next move to my dear friend Alita Wright. Your ship has departed its previous parking orbit. It is currently underway to where it will rendezvous with the Ileana. This is a flight plan that you know of because you were part of the planning process as as part of your responsibilities of the security of the ship. You kind of have to know what's going on in order to prepare for potential security problems. So you know that over the next few hours, the ship will be underway. It will rendezvous with and then dock with the Ileana, and then you guys will go into hypersleep and wake up in 2 years. So that's like the Cliff's Notes highlights of what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you are currently in the conversation with your fellow security specialist Hamida Amir, a former Royal Marine of the Three Worlds Empire, female, I should point out. She's Maori, so she has the some of the Maori lines on her chin, right? I don't know what these are called. They're tattoos, obviously, but I don't know what to call them. All right, and I don't want to seem rude to any particular cultures. But she is Maori, and she's proud of her Maori background. In your various interactions with her, you have picked up on that. Okay, you've probably worked with her for a few weeks at the very least, of the last few weeks since coming aboard. Yeah, she's talking about this place called the New Albion Protectorate. And she's just going on and on and on about how awesome it is that they have broken away from the Three Worlds Empire.
And she's just going on and on and on and on.
More or less. I mean, every now and again she'll throw in something like, "Oh, hey, there's a security. Oh, never mind. That's a security check. We already did that.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what she's talking about. Three Worlds.
Oh, that's right. You were UA. You were a Marine, weren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the Three Worlds Empire, of course, is the other. I like to call us the other faction that nobody ever really thinks about. Everybody talks about the UA and the UPP mostly because you guys are trying to kill each other. Stupid, my personal opinion, but not important right now. So the Three Worlds Empire.
A lot of contention.
I'm sorry?
We did a lot of contention with the UPP.
Yes, well, I mean, you guys are actively trying to kill each other. Even now, like, the colony worlds are being really weird out there, but, whatever. So, about a year ago, he's our prime minister. Well, my prime minister now, but he's the NAPRO PM. NAPRO, of course, this is above board. NAPRO is the New Albion Protectorate acronym, because, of course, we have to abbreviate everything. Maurice Pepper, he was the prime minister of the New Albion colony, declared his world's independence, and he's brought a small number of other worlds into their little group, and is also extending a hand in friendship to anybody else that wants to join.
So they're looking for recruits.
Well, I think they're trying to make their own little nation. I think that's pretty cool because, well, sometimes things in the 3WE or the 3-dub, I call it 3-dub. I don't think anybody else actually calls it that. But, sometimes things in the 3-dub aren't as great as, they would say that they are.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice that we would have like a 3-party system rather than a 2-party system.
I have no idea what you're talking about. We don't have that. I have no idea what the Three World Empire has for a political structure. I'm just talking out my ass at this point. It's actually about that point. In fact, the ship's engines will suddenly cut power. And you will feel this in the ship. Like, again, your ship has artificial gravity, so it absorbs a lot of those inertial changes when the ship's engines are running. Because space magic. Because in the real universe, that's not how that works at all. But I digress. As the ship's engines cut, and you guys go to just your regular inertia, you notice the change in the ship. Like, you'd be like, oh, the engines are turned off. But what's important here is
we must be approaching.
I'm sorry?
We must be approaching the area that we're supposed to be in.
No, that can't be right. And you see Amita, she looks at a watch on her arm, and she's like, we haven't been underway long enough. We're not even halfway there.
Oh.
I wonder what's going on.
What kind of ship are we in again? Just
You're
out
in
of
you're
character?
in your Solovetsky Island ship.
We're in the Solovetsky Island. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
This would be the equivalent of the current day. Just to be
Current
clear.
day.
I didn't give you a time frame. I apologize. I should have.
So this is happening simultaneously with Rodance's character Westcott.
Well, that has already taken place like 20 minutes ago. In fact, you may have heard some of the cursing that came out of Octavia's mouth.
Okay.
Depending on where exactly you were on the ship at the time.
Hmm.
There are 3 different levels to the ship, to be clear.
Okay. All right. So the engine's cut. We are not near anything close to what we're supposed to be at.
Right. You're like best guess is you might be
Schedule wise.
Yeah, best guess is you're not even halfway yet.
That's not good.
Yep. Hamida is like
okay.
Hamida has grabbed like a data slate. Nope, that's Warhammer 40K. She's grabbed a tablet or something and she's like looking at ship's logs and stuff like that, trying to find out what's going on.
Any luck?
I don't know. Hold on. Let me call up to the bridge and see what's going on. And so she calls up to the bridge.
Where are we in?
Yeah, where do you want to be? You could be anywhere on the ship with her. I think you guys have a security station, I'm sure. Let me see. I just changed the map. Don't freak out.
I'm not freaking out.
Well, you won't notice that you won't be able
Well,
to
I was
see
about to
anything.
say we don't have sight on this map either.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'll just put you. There is a quarantine section, but that's not necessarily security. So let's
Isn't
just go back.
Isn't there an armory?
You know what? That's a good question.
Stores.
There's a high
What are
value
these
storage.
junctions, by the way?
One more time.
What are the JCT? I'm assuming it means junction or something.
Yes,
Yeah, it's a
junction.
junction.
Like, okay, yeah.
Like a mechanical room?
Let's just say the mess hall.
Yeah, you could be in the mess hall just chilling out because you don't really have much to do right now.
Yep.
She calls up to the bridge. At the same time, she's trying to get a hold of the other pilot, not Nina or Finn, whichever one's the pilot now. I done forgot.
Finn is the pilot.
Yeah, Finn is the pilot. There's a second pilot that is currently on duty, we'll say. Right, you get a call on your comm feed. You get a call. I'm just gonna, you know what? It comes down over the PA. Let's do that.
Okay.
It is Warren, and he says, "Right, I need you to meet me at the docking port."
Docking port. Got it. All right. So I guess I gotta move and do this now.
Yep.
So she gets up from the
I'm sorry, the airlock. The airlock that's over here on the map where I'm pinging.
Airlock. Okay,
Yeah.
so the EVA and airlock. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, she'll saunter out of the mess hall, make her way over to airlock. Where do they see each other? Just right over there?
Yeah, they're in that area where it says EVA suits. Warren is waiting for you. I'm going to take control of your character just for a moment. And Warren just looks at you, and he's kind of got a Warren-esque smile. It's not a happy smile, but it's definitely a I got you kind of joke smile a little bit. It's just like, and he says, "I really hope you're ready for this." And then,
God, Captain, what are you planning this time?
Well, we've docked with somebody. Let's just see how this plays out. The airlock begins to cycle, and the camera switches the view into who is in the airlock. And as that person who initially has their back to us, it's a very large person, I should point out. Initially has their back to us. Maybe there was something in the previous ship that he was looking for before he got off. I don't know. But as the airlock cycles, this individual turns around. Pike, what do you look like now?
So, is this the first time Pike has interacted with the mother mission, basically?
Correct. You're being brought onto this ship because, and to be clear, you know this, so I'll give this to you. You are being brought You are being brought out here and meeting with the ship under these, let's say, clandestine. I can't fucking word all of a sudden, but you get it. We're being secret hush hush right now because you have insisted that you're pretty sure you are wanted.
Just something I would have really. I think I would have only told Warren to try to get this coordinated properly, and I
Yeah,
wouldn't have explained what for.
yeah, and Warren is, and that's part of the reason why he's got that smirk, and part of the reason why he's like, well, let's just see how this plays out. So,
So
right?
Pike is
Sorry.
there. It looks like he hasn't cut his hair or shaved in about a year.
I was gonna say 7 or 8
Like,
months, but same difference.
Okay.
his face is dirty. He stinks. His clothes have like dry dirt on them and stuff. He's got his green on one side, and he's got a weapon case in the other hand. And yeah, like he drops the green and uses his hand to try to push his hair up out of his eyes and over the top of his head, and just looks at the two of you and says, Warren, right?
Okay. Okay, 1 second, please. I will now roll a wits from
Sure.
right.
Do you recognize him?
I don't know why it's not giving you the. Oh, it's wits. You can't push wits, huh?
No.
Because it's not a skill, it's a characteristic or whatever.
Sir, is that a firearm?
Just like turns. That was Alita.
Yeah.
Just looks at her and says, "That's how you greet your gunny."
Oh,
I'm not
no.
gonna play right or Warren. I will leave that one to you, Luke.
Okay. So Alita, we may have gotten off with the wrong foot here. However, this is your previous captain, Pike, Heath Pike. And then Alita's like, oh no. Okay. Is that still a firearm? Are you? And then Warren goes, okay, so he's going to be our scout. Do you want to fill her in a little bit on your position, Heath?
Warren told me my job here is going to be getting people through the bush and dealing with wildlife.
And honestly, I thought there would be no one better to do this than our good old captain.
Gunny.
So, Gunny.
Sergeant.
Yeah.
Gunny Sergeant.
Anytime
Gunny.
you want to call him captain, just call him Gunny. Because that's
Gunny.
probably what Pike would have insisted on.
Our good old Gunny. And you're gonna have to welcome him on the ship. So she goes, okay. Let me show you to the bunk room and we'll get you installed.
Is there a uniform I'm supposed to wear on this ship?
I'm actually not sure about that.
I leave that
Out of
detail to
character.
you, Captain Warren, commander of the Solovetsky Island. Do you guys? I imagine that the ship
So-
at one point had a uniform, but there's a new person in charge now. So
You
Yeah,
probably
I
have
think
like
it's-
ship clothing, if nothing else, but you could choose to make it mandatory and probably whatever the standard of generic Wayland Yutani colors they come in. Think like scrubs
think like
Yeah, it
in
would,
or
The
Star Trek
Expanse?
uniforms.
where usually the ship had its own coveralls that probably had the same colors and then the name of the ship on the back or something like that.
Yeah, like a casual ship clothing.
Or you
that's
could just be like, I
generally-
don't care, wear whatever you want.
like if you can and have to wear something else, like go ahead, kind of deal.
Yeah.
So but if you're like on the ship and you're just like part of the crew, then yeah, use whatever scrubs and stuff you need. Okay. So we have, let's see here, bunk rooms, I guess.
Yeah, there's 2 bunk rooms and there's a captain's
Okay, I see.
cabin. So you have your own room, and it's probably a lady's bunk and a dude's bunk.
Yeah.
Probably.
Based
Dude
on
bunk on
the
the next
names
to
of the
mess hall.
NPCs, we guess that it would be a fairly even division.
Yeah, I think so. Without actually
Which is
counting
not very
it's probably pretty
fair.
As you guys are transitioning out of the
Okay.
docking, out of the airlock, and the other ship is separating and departing, your own engines will eventually kick back on. There will be a rumble through the ship as the engine power gets compensated by the internal gravity system. Nina wanders around in the background carrying, for no apparent reason, a gigantic fucking wrench. And she sees the three of you. And she kind of mutters as you guys pass by. She's like, what happened? Okay, I guess I'll ask later.
Like as soon as like somebody's passing in the background, Pike's just like watching.
Yeah, I think that's when Nina trails off, is when she sees this 7-foot tall dude looking directly at her, and he looks like he's been in the bush for the last 6 years.
He is the bush.
Yeah, probably.
So I will remind you, Omar, that Nina is snarky.
Okay,
Because I
fair.
wrote her description as her being snarky.
Okay,
You
that's
can
fair.
choose to handle that however you so please.
Okay. Oh yeah, well in that case, I don't think she trails off necessarily. I think it's more like, what happened to Eckhart? Okay.
She would probably know Eckhart because she's not a Marine.
I'm assuming she's heard stories. Also, I just needed somebody to say it. I needed somebody to say
Oh,
that.
for the segue, right?
Yes. Well,
The
hint.
several episode segue.
Yes.
I mean, he would have told Warren that that it was going to be just him, that he and Eckhart weren't together anymore. But Alita probably has no idea. They knew that they left together.
He's keeping that close.
Yeah. I think
It's a need to know.
I think Westcott would have made mention of various things, as far as like Pike and Eckhart might have been a thing or whatever. But then any details since everybody leaving the military and going their separate ways, like there's not a lot of crosstalk, I don't think.
No, it was mostly Warren at the heart of it for some weird reason. Everyone was like, Warren, do a thing.
Yeah.
Warren, be that guy.
As we transition, our next big scene really isn't a whole lot. I do want to give you guys a chance to interact as necessary before I move on. Any characters that you want to interact with another character, please. If not, I can just transition straight into the next major segment. So I kind of, I don't want to say I wanted to set up specific scenes to kind of set the story, but obviously at this point, as you guys are now roughly an hour to 2 hours away from the Ileana, you've got some time if you want to interact.
What rough time of day is it?
Mid.
Like, would we call this like midday, like lunchtime?
I'm sorry. 1 second. Words. No. For some reason, my kid wants my Pepsi. She's like, no, get out of here. It is roughly mid.
Pepsi.
It's roughly mid-afternoon, so like 1, 2, 3, somewhere in there.
Okay. Yeah, Octavia is totally probably going through the science areas, then right on back to hiding hole number something or another.
Hiding hole number 7C.
But he'll look at Alita, and I wasn't expecting to see anybody else. What's your job here?
I'm part of the security detail, I suppose you could say. I was not expecting to see you, but I suppose Warren kept in contact with me, so I imagined he would have kept in contact with most of you guys.
In the middle of this conversation, right? I'm going to interrupt just for one moment. In character, Wright and Pike, one of the working Joes wanders by, the female. And I want to point out that those that have seen the working Joes previously, they are virtually identical in their descriptions, features, etc., except one has long brown hair and the other one has short cropped brown hair in a male haircut style. You going down? I'm not getting it. I'm kidding. The female wanders by and says in a somewhat modulated voice, "A new crew member, eh?"
He just looks right at Warren. The fuck is that?
That is an assistant. It's okay.
My name is Marty. How can I be of assistance to you, sir?
So what? That's your toaster? He's still completely ignoring the Joe.
The working Joes don't have enough personality to actually interact in that was a racist thing to call me sort of way, so it's just kind of standing there like, how may I assist you, sir? Empathy.
I mean, yeah,
None.
it's a toaster. I get it.
Yep.
We have to have him on board because Weyland-Yutani keeps him here, I guess. Please don't disassemble them.
No disassemble.
He'll make a show of leaning to the side and looking at it. If you stay the fuck out of my way, you'll stay in one piece. And he looks back at Warren with an expression like, "Is that good enough for you?"
I'm pretty fine with that.
Marty looks in a plastic, not very well described face sort of way at Pike and is like, "No disassemble, sir," and wanders off.
It's probably for the best.
Is anybody else here?
Actually, Westcott is here. Octavia is our science officer. She was always kind of a smarty pants.
Yeah, good for her. So how do you want to handle this?
Well, we're gonna be approaching the what is it called?
The Ileana.
The Ileana. We're gonna be approaching the Ileana pretty soon. So once we get there, we go on ice, and then we approach the things as we need to. As far as Octavia and her siblings, how do you want to deal with that?
Well, I was thinking more you and me.
I see.
This is your ship, your captain.
I mean, I'm captain. Yeah, sure. I'll be giving you orders. That might be weird a little bit. However, I just want to make sure that once you're on the ground doing your job, you are able to do your job. Whatever that means and whatever you need to get that done, I'm all for.
All right. That should be no problem for me. You'll look
Good.
over at Alita.
Yes.
Do we have a problem?
No, I'm just very surprised to see you. And I guess once we're in the bunks and everything else, that it should be a lot better. I guess I welcome you to the ship. It's gonna be a good time.
Well, I'm here to do a job. I'm not here to make yours harder.
Appreciate.
I am keeping this though.
I wasn't gonna take it away from you, honestly.
I just thought we should just say it.
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
Is Alita or Hamida the main security officer on the ship?
Yeah, I forgot about the detail on who has the final say on this kind of stuff.
You know what? I think with Warren being the commander of the ship, I think maybe Hamida has the rank for security.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that'll change over time. We'll see. I mean, this does not have to be like locked in or anything. I was just a random thought.
No, it's just a general, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you first off, the captain has ultimate say so, right? Everybody else, generically, because you're not an actual military, everybody has their own
equipment.
Yeah, you have your own
stuff.
role and position and realm of responsibility aboard the ship. Otherwise, everything is mostly collaborative, right?
So it's kind of like team leads for the areas that have multiple
exactly.
people,
exactly. I mean, that's the way I see
managers.
it. That's the way I see it for a ship like this, and it being a civilian crew versus a military crew. You know, so I think a lot of that hard, rigid hierarchy kind of dips away a little bit, and it just becomes, I'm the person in charge of this. This is my assistant. Anything outside of that, I collaborate, work together with others in order to bring the whole team together. Sort of mentality. I mean, this is the way I'm envisioning it, but this is also your ship, Captain Warren. You run it however you like. Because some captains could be more militaristic than others, despite military service or because of their military service.
So, as long as he keeps it under locks, a rifle is part of his kit. So Warren is going to have to tell Hamida that's just going to be part of the deal. As the scout of the ship, whatever.
Do you
Let's see
ring
here.
Hamida up?
I will. I asked Alita where she was placed last, and mess hall was where she was left. So
Yeah.
He'll go and grab something to drink, and then go and brief Alita on not Alita but Hamida. They're very similar names. Jesus.
Yes. You can call Hamida. Her last name is Amir.
Amir.
If you want to go by last name to make it easier.
Yeah. And grab a drink, and then go with Amir and just bring her over to Pike and see what.
Oops. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and just see how they handle each other.
Yeah, this will be a fun meeting.
I totally got this Hamida wrong earlier, by the way. She's the other.
Oh, what is it?
So she's the other security person, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I got her flip-flopped with the actual person who's the Maori. Monroe is her name.
Monroe, that makes more sense.
So Hamida is from the Three Worlds Empire and was a Royal Marine before, but she also is not at all a fan of Napro. So that was the big oof on my part. She's actually disgusted.
I was talking to both of them.
What's that?
And I could just say we were talking amongst all three of us and just like back and forth.
Yeah. So Hamida, when you tell her about Pike being added to the crew, and he had.
Do you bring Pike to her?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I think you need some time in the mess hall. I'm just gonna expose you to everybody right now.
Expose him.
Oh, that's good because Pike's hungry.
Yeah, I think Hamida is in the mess hall, and having figured everything out or being brought up to speed on what was going on, and she just looks over at Pike and she's just like, "Well, you're a big boy, eh?"
You're in charge of security?
She looks at Ward and she's just like, "Yeah, I hope."
I am a scout. I'm not here for your job.
Oh, well, that's reassuring. I would hate to hurt you.
All right.
And he wants to size her up now.
I think she stands up. She definitely does the, chest up sort of thing. She's not being necessarily
like
confrontational, but she's definitely not backing down. She's a Marine. You could probably recognize that she is a Marine. Well, I'm saying that she is a Marine in the way that no Marine stops being a Marine.
Yeah. He'll see this and he'll look at her and say, who'd you serve with?
Royal Marines. You?
UA.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We're the better one, but don't worry. I won't let it get to your head.
Hey, if you really just want to get thrown around the cargo bay, I'm down to throw dance.
And we'll talk sometime.
So we're gonna omit any of this conversation for the record, but I'd like to have both of you in non disrepair for when we get out here, and I kind of look at Pike and I go like, yeah,
I think before you even look at Pike, Hamida just slaps Pike's shoulder. Don't worry, Cap. You're in good hands.
They speak the same language. It's fine.
I think I'm going to enjoy punching you.
I can't wait. Don't worry. I'll help you pick up your teeth afterwards.
Okay, so
he's gonna turn and go to make himself a tray of food because he's really fucking hungry.
Yeah, so he goes to make a tray of food. I talk to Hamida and I'm like, okay, so look, he doesn't get free reign on the ship, but like, stay out of his way a little bit.
Oh, don't worry, Cap. We're all good.
I guess some fraternizing is pretty okay, but I've seen that man take something 3 times his size.
I believe you, but I'm not worried about him.
Okay.
Don't worry, Cap. We'll be cool.
Good.
I want you to imagine. I imagine she's probably speaking in a British-related or adjacent accent, by the way.
Okay.
I can't hold an accent to save my life, so.
Me neither.
He piles this tray. He's getting a pike-sized helping.
I'm just
And
imagining frozen burritos, like a dozen of them. Like he just takes the whole box out of the freezer and just dumps it on the plate.
He like creatively, he's like a bricklayer with the microwave, sticking them all in there.
Oh god, that would take forever to microwave them unless there's like future microwaves is like a consistent amount of time for a bunch of burritos.
I'm just
Yeah, like-
picturing a dozen
like-
burritos in the microwave, and like 6 of them have either end super hot, but the center's still solid.
Like,
Guys, have
he's
you
got
not
his-
seen?
He's got his bag over
Office?
his shoulder. He's still carrying the weapon case. Like he's still carrying everything, and he's just staring at the heating unit.
Waiting for
Dude,
it to
he's
waiting
finish.
for
probably
it to
got like
finish.
3 microwaves. Like this is not a
Mm.
problem. This is an office environment
Yeah.
in some
And then,
ways.
And then,
Like
yeah,
there's
he's
probably
gonna
3 of them, and
s-
he's probably using all of them.
And then he's gonna put them all in a tray and sit down in the mess, and he's going to eat like 4,000 calories worth of shitty burritos.
Right, and they're gonna probably taste amazing because he's been eating garbage. Well, maybe even literally garbage, but eating shit for months.
He's been eating like plants that don't make him sick and like animals he's been hunting. So it's like, totally different for him.
Is there anything else that you guys want to get into before we transition?
I haven't seen Westcott, but it's okay, I guess.
I think Westcott went
You
right
guys would
back
have
to
to
sleep.
actively look for Westcott. Or
Yeah.
you'd have to actively look for Octavia, because while her brother and sister, also as a side note, they do not look alike. They are not biological siblings at all. They are
Figured.
adopted siblings. So they all look very different. They all have different personalities, but they all still are close. Octavia totally would not come out. Like if she does her work in a timely manner, sometimes at weird hours of the day, she sleeps in weird places, and she hits the mess at weird times. She is not willingly interacting with the crew at the moment.
At the moment.
You would have to go hunt her
I'll
down.
change that.
All right, so
that.
I guess
So-
what we can do, and I will let
So,
the players.
I have an idea.
Go ahead.
He's gonna pound his burritos, and then he's gonna go to the bunk room. And is there anybody in the bunk room right now?
Let me see. Who amongst the NPCs that I definitely control might be in here? Who's this?
What is a DAUTUR?
That is daughter, your computer system.
Like mother, but
Daughter.
different.
Yeah.
Oh.
What
so I got a
is-
straight shot to daughter.
I didn't put her. What is her role?
It just exists, I guess.
Prospector, maybe?
Okay.
Yeah, Emily Quintana is in the bunk. Well, no, you're probably gonna go into the male bunk, so let's go look for a dude. Oh, perfect.
Here's the question, right?
Mhm.
For Captain Warren, is this Starship Trooper style where there is no gender segregation, or is this gender segregated dorm?
Starship Trooper is one of my favorite movies. So yes, it's not segregated.
Okay.
That's
In that
funny.
case, roll me 1d2, just to see which individual you get. 2. Okay. You enter the bunk area, and there is. Let me see. Let me just do this. Thought it would. So let's go with this. There is a new token on the board that might be difficult to see depending on how far out you zoomed, but if you double click on him, I think you can read
I'm
his stuff.
so zoomed.
I don't know. Can you guys double click on tokens and see everything?
No,
No.
Oh, shit.
but we can see the portrait, so we can see the guy's face with his gotea thing going.
Yes, that is.
He's so generic.
He
That
looks super
is.
cheap.
That is. How do I want to explain this? Let's see. What does this description give me?
I mean, I'm not going to know any of this. I just walk in and I see that face in the
Yeah.
bunk room, right?
Yeah, and I think he's just like just chilling, maybe sitting on like a chair with his legs up on a desktop or something, reading some little hand tablet. Think something like a Kindle, right? He looks
I
up
went
at
to-
you.
I went to whichever bunk room Alita told me to go to, so I end up in that one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He says, "Oh, who are you?"
Scout.
guess we did need one of
And he's looking for open bunk.
those. He points
Hey.
to one that is obviously an upper bunk that is not claimed.
Can we say that Pike finds the bunk above the one that Westcott never uses?
Sure. In fact, yeah.
Okay.
In fact, this guy, he's like, yeah, that bottom bunk is claimed, but she never uses it. I don't know where she sleeps. But you could take the top bunk.
You don't know where she sleeps.
She has a habit of rabbiting herself away into little teeny tiny holes.
Just like toss his bag up and stuff. And he's going to look for his locker so he can lock up his weapon case.
What's in the box?
Scout stuff.
Scout
And he'll just
stuff.
he'll just turn. He'll do the slow turn and look. And then slow turn back when he's like locking up his already locked case.
Yeah. When you guys mouse over his token, does it say anything?
No.
Okay. He gives you something of a stern look. He's like, no, I don't know who you are. You weren't on the ship when we departed home, and I don't know what's in that box, and I kind of need to know. And he stands up, and similar to how Amita stood up to you earlier, he is not chest up, so to speak, but he's definitely standing up, as though expecting you to open this case without further questioning of him.
Oh, is this tan?
I'm going to roll menacing.
Okay.
As he makes a great first impression with whoever the fuck this is.
It's gonna be great.
Amazing.
From context clues, I'm pretty sure I know who that is.
Mm-hmm. You got it.
Oh, I stress him. I'm so intimidating. I stress him out.
Wait, hold on. How did that? So you pushed manipulation. You had to roll stress.
And I rolled a 6. And because it was on a push, I was at 1 stress. So I rolled it's a 6 + 1.
Right.
I shot straight to a panic condition.
So you have the nervous twitch?
Yeah, so I have a nervous
twitch. And
so,
that.
So here's how it looks.
I get it. Your stress goes up, and everybody around him goes up.
So everybody who's friendly, who would be the crew, right? So his stress is going to go up by 1. So I look at him while I'm putting the case up. We don't have a fucking problem, do we? And I start twitching, I'm trying really hard not to do shit, and he takes a point of stress from me just being fucking crazy.
I mean, I got to push. Give me that. He
oh no.
Shit. I did not mean to close it. Where is he? He smirks.
Matches.
I want you to imagine.
Wait, so he's an NPC and he gets to push?
I'm for shits and giggles. I want to play this scene out a certain way, so
no.
Cheating a little bit here. He's got a smirk. I want to be clear when I say that, because you are intimidating, or rather, he is definitely concerned. But in the moment, he kind of has to stick to his guns, and he reaches into one of his pockets, and he pulls out a badge, and that badge says Interstellar Commerce Commission, and he says, "No, for real, I need to see what's in that box. Consider me your portable customs agent. You weren't at our port of call.
I didn't arrive through customs. Go talk to the captain."
I'm good. You know what? You're right. I will talk to the captain. Thank you for your time. And he puts his badge back in his little pocket. He grabs his little Kindle-ish. I probably shouldn't call it a Kindle because it's probably copyrighted or some bullshit.
Call it a tablet.
Yeah, he grabs his tablet, and you hear over the ship's PA about 30 seconds later, "Captain Warren, what's your location?" And you immediately recognize this guy's voice.
So I close the locker, right?
Uh-huh.
And I pull out my own lock to lock the locker. I don't use the ship lock.
Okay.
For my locked case and a locked locker.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then yeah, I'm gonna go take a shower.
I imagine, well, it would probably say showers or something like that.
There is one up off of the room by Cryo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Captain Warren,
Okay.
you hear your name over the PA. It's the voice of Tan Blatchman. You've met him several times because he's an obstinate asshole. He thinks
Okay.
he's important. He thinks he's a badge. He's got some sort of credibility and authority over you. He would like to know your location.
Does he though? He probably
Well,
does.
this is one of those areas where there's definitely
It's
some
a little
overlap.
gray. Yeah, it's a little gray. Okay. I'll intercom back in mess hall.
Very well. And a moment later, here he comes, tablet in hand, and he saunters over to you like he's, kind of king shitty, and sits down directly across from you. Says, Cap,
Yes.
who's the walking mountain?
Oh yes, the literal pike. Um. Okay, you want to get that one, but it's okay.
No,
So,
not at all. I don't know what you're talking about. He has equipment that he is refusing to allow me to review, as I'm sure you know, per our agreements, regulations, and contracts. I need to see what's in that box.
yes, and you will see what's in that box.
I know I will.
You will, yes. Where did he go?
Well, he was last in the bunk room. I almost said bunkhouse. He was last. You know what? I think that's what some people are going to call it. Some of these people are going to call it the bunkhouse. I don't know why. Maybe I watched Yellowstone too many times. I don't know. Well, I left him in the bunkhouse.
You left him in the bunkhouse. Okay.
Listen, he's significantly larger than me, and I don't need to have physical confrontation when I have the captain in my pocket. And when he says that, I want you to imagine he's starting to get a little upset. Like, motherfucker, do your damn job so I can stop having to do mine.
Okay.
Mind you, he's not actually saying any of that.
Yeah. So, did Pike, Kane, did Pike leave already the room to go take a shower?
I think if you want to have it convenient, he probably has his green open and he's getting out like some PTs, so he has something to change into when he gets out of the shower before he goes and tries to find like a local uniform.
Okay.
So you could probably like find him in there like unpacking his bag.
Okay. So we're gonna move over to the bunkhouse. Bunkhouse is the south one, and Bunk Chateau is the top
Bunk
one.
Chateau.
It's slightly smaller, so it's like more an exclusive club. It's a chateau.
You know what? Maybe the smaller one is the more senior ones, but not captains, and then the bunkhouse is the junior ones. I don't know. Don't listen to me. Go ahead.
So
take it away.
he's clearly in the bunkhouse. So I mean, I know everything about I need to know about him. But so we go to the bunkhouse. What was his name again?
Tan Blatchman is the ICC inspector.
Blatchman. Mr. Blatchman, may I introduce Heath Pike, an associate of mine, a former Marine actually with me. He's going to be acting as our scout, which means that he's going to have certain privileges of equipment that's going to be necessary for scouting.
That doesn't change the fact that I need to verify what is in that case, Captain.
Oh, we're getting to that. I'm just prefacing here, and I will use my word of the day preface.
I'm now imagining that in the captain's quarters there is a word of the day calendar that is now 2 years. Well, it will soon be 2 years behind.
Oh yeah, it's way behind.
It just flips back to the beginning when it runs out, and he just keeps running. It's the
He
wrong
keeps
day.
using the same words over and over.
It's got 365 days to use.
Yeah. So Heath, can we do a gear check just to make sure that everything is all good? Is there anything you need to prepare for, or are you ready?
I just need to see what's in this case. I'm assuming, based on its shape, it's probably some sort of weapon.
It's very likely a weapon.
Am I supposed to give a shit about this guy's opinion?
I
want to see it too.
Are you asking that in character or out of character?
Yes, in character.
Okay.
Like he's just looking at Warren and he just points at this guy.
I think Blatchman's just like, the fuck did he just... He's got that look on his face. He doesn't say anything, right? He's just got that, the fuck did he just say look?
It's okay. Maybe I want to see it too. this is probably not
Just
marine
open it
issue.
up.
I'm a little
I don't
interested. Yeah.
understand why this has to be so difficult. Open it,
Okay.
I take a look, you close it, we're done. Apologies,
trouble?
Captain. This is your ship. I apologize.
Warren,
Yeah.
how much trouble will you be in if I break his jaw?
I think he goes
A
ghost
bit.
white when you say that.
A bit, but if you do me a favor, open the rifle case, and then we can all walk away, I guess.
All right,
Hey,
Warren,
Keith,
you want a bag drag? It's your ship, and you like
Cap.
he doesn't just open the locker, right? He pulls down his bags,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And he opens
You're gonna
the
be that
locker.
guy?
He asked for
The
look,
bag.
this is
Yep.
this is
I
what
want to do a
Pike
gear check.
knows. He was raised on bag drags and gear checks, right?
Yep.
He doesn't really know what else to do. And
Yeah,
Warren said
yeah.
he wants to see his kit, so he's gonna bag drag his full shit. So he pulls everything out.
Oh, nice.
So he's got like all of his clothes lined up, and then
Mhm.
he's like sorting and organizing like the toiletry stuff. Some of it looks really fucking sketchy.
We'll get some of that replaced.
Yeah, like there's a toothbrush that has clearly been like shaved down into a shank that's a bit warped. Like
I think at some point you
So
start
new
seeing
toothbrush.
Blatchman kind of standing there like this with his hand over his mouth and nose. He's just like, "Oh, that's okay. I see what kind of person you're going to be."
so what exactly did Westcott paint on his armor after the Queen kill?
Oh, yes.
What session was that?
Yeah, that was a while ago because the Queen kill was like episode or mission 4, I think. That's gonna be going way back. That's when Winston bought
Yeah,
it.
26 is when I get mind controlled and Pike kills the Queen. Ship
Okay.
brands the station. We get UPP, prisoner. Go back to the Tam. To be honest, I don't quite remember now because that was also the same mission where he shot her. So
We go
it
back
was
and figure that out
inappropriate.
later. It doesn't matter right now. So he
Okay.
finishes like doing his bag drag out, and you see his M3 personal armor and helmet.
Oh, wow. A relic.
Like it's still got like all the art on everything. You know it is his armor, and that's he has that all stacked up in like inspection order.
Well, because you also have like a
Oh,
you
I know
got
what
some
she would have
writing on your
done.
armor. I forget exactly what it is.
Mhm. I wish I kept that myself, but I don't think I would have had the chance to keep it as much.
She would have wrote on the chest plate about where you shot her, aim better next time.
I remember you saying
Right.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got the
Like,
armor and inspection order
instead of like, because you probably caught
Oh,
her
because it
like
was friendly
in the upper
fire or
chest.
something. It was
On
like
her.
friendly fire or something.
He did friendly fire on her armor after he ordered her to shoot the friendly berserker.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And on his armor, after he shot me, I would have wrote about where he shot me, and it says, "Aim better next time."
Mm.
I think Blatchman, by the way, is standing there, and he's like, "Okay, this is getting a bit pedantic." He probably says
Mhm.
that, and then he sees the body armor that is very clearly not something a civilian should have, right? And
Oh yeah.
Marine issue.
what's that?
Marine issue.
Yeah. Well, a civilian shouldn't have it. A Marine would on active duty,
Mhm.
and he's just like, I imagine you're going to have some sort of receipt for that.
Yeah, he doesn't acknowledge that. He opens up the weapons case. It's a large weapons case, and inside are 2 weapons and a harness. It is his DMR. Like it's got the familiar like scratching and stuff on it. It is his DMR, and he also has a smart gun.
Oh God.
Captain Warren, those weapons
And he like
are.
and he takes it out, he checks it, he clears it, he places it down. It's all in like inspection order, and then he just stares at. He doesn't even acknowledge the ICC guy. He just looks at Warren and says, "Inspection ready."
I think.
So
Go ahead.
yeah. So seems like you need a couple things in your kit. We'll get those replaced as soon as we can. Other than that, it looks like it's a good kit. Congratulations. And then I'm going to turn to
Blatchman.
Blatchman. I wanted to say that, and I'm like, that can't be his name.
Yeah, it's not a. It's
It
a
is his
unique
name.
name.
Yeah, okay. I turned to Blatchman and I said, okay, so we're gonna go and have a conversation about this, I assume.
Well, those weapons need to be in the armory. I don't even want to know how in the hell he walked out of the Marine Corps with that shit. I just hope he's got his paperwork, because if anybody above me comes aboard and sees that, there's going to be some serious problems. This is all military grade gear, current grade. I ought to report some sort of smuggling bullshit right now, just based on what I've seen so far. I'm not going to. I'm going to assume that there's a reason, and a perfectly legitimate one at that, for this, and he just turns and walks away.
No conversation today. Got it.
Because in his mind, he's in charge of you to a point.
Mm-hmm.
When it's
That was nice to have
customs
that
shit,
conversation.
when it's customs and trade embargo, whatever the hell his job is, he's in charge. It's your ship, but he's in charge.
Oh, he can be, yeah.
I mean, listen, that's his stance until somebody punks him.
Yeah. Okay, so we have stores and things, which I assume there's an armory somewheres.
I imagine
No.
there is. I just haven't seen one. But it's all good. Let's just assume that there's a place somewhere on this ship
Just
that you
like-
could securely secure. Wow. You could lock
Yeah.
this shit up.
I'm not sure Pike really wants to leave guns in the same room with civvies, though. Just saying.
And I think that's the issue here we have. So
the
Pike,
ICC guy has left the two of us in here, right? It's
Yes,
just
yeah,
us.
so we can just chat now, yeah. So basically we need to have those in the armory. I saw a shiv in there. Is everything okay?
No.
I'm here if you need to talk. Otherwise, you're on the ship, you're a crew member. Once we need you on active duty, you're going to be in active duty, and I can count on you.
I'm here to work for you. You tell me what you need and I'll do it.
Noted. Okay. I assist him with whatever he needs to lock up, and then I leave the room to him so he can change and do the shower thing and the shavy thing.
Okay.
So I put my weapons back up in my case. I lock my case. Unless
think is
Warren says
reasonable.
otherwise, I'm going to put it in my locker and also lock the locker. And at this point, Warren can see that I brought my own lock, so nobody else can get in my locker or my case.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that Pike's locker is right next to West Octavia's locker.
Well, considering
And,
you guys are like bunkmates, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and at this point, like he puts it all up and he gets his stuff like in his drawers for his bunk, and he gets his PTs, and then he like he probably pulls open, like, because he's probably still wearing the same overalls he had in the flashback, but he's also got like a beat to fuck wind jacket on top of it.
Yeah.
And he pulls back the jacket and he shows and he says, "Because it's your ship and I trust you, not that noodly motherfucker." And he pulls back the jacket and you can see that he's got the VP pistol.
Oh, right. I remember you. Okay.
Anything else, or shall we transition?
I didn't
sorry.
see that. I didn't see that. And you're welcome on the ship. Welcome to the Solovetsky's Island.
I'll try not to cause you too many problems.
No promises,
you.
though.
Try is okay. And then we can close on that.
All right. We'll go ahead and transition. I'm going to do some narration and whatnot, so bear with me here. Eventually, the island docks up with the Ileana, and I want to point out for the viewers what the Ileana is. First, we have... Let me switch this over. Where is that one? So first we have the Solovetsky Island, which is of course reminiscent of the Prometheus. This is just one deck, but you get the idea. What we also have is the ship that this ship is docking with. As soon as I remember where the hell it is. Yep, there it is. Nope. Activate, and then I gotta see about. Nope, come here. Okay, you guys should be able to see everything. For the viewers, this ship is significantly larger than the SEVs or the Prometheuses. Up at the top of the ship is the command module, followed by the transit module, which is where the 4 exploration ships will dock. The Solovetsky Island and the 3 others. And then, of course, these A through D modules here are for the colonists and cryosleep and various other things. These 4 wedged-looking shits right here in the middle of the ship, each one of those is one of those gigantic freaking atmosphere processing centers that you may recall seeing in the Aliens movie, the one with the Marines and Ripley going to that one planet, LV-426 or whatever it was. Or no, I may have gotten that wrong. I don't remember.
No, it's LV-426.
Okay. But anyway, yeah, this is each one of those is that gigantic tower thing that was in that show or in that movie that, ultimately exploded because it was overheating or something and caused a nuclear reaction. There's 4 of them strapped to the spine of this massive ship. And then, of course, the bottom decks here are cryopreservation and storage modules for various other things like human embryos, livestock, various other support equipment and whatnot. And then finally the drive modules, which is, the engines and reactors and whatever. So
that's how they got around it.
I'm sorry?
I was wondering, because 10,000 individuals is not a sufficient population for a stable human population with genetic variability, but having a boatload of human embryos on ice would fix that problem.
Yes. And because they're super small, you can carry.
Yeah, because I think you have to have
thousands.
like 25K or something like that to have an ongoing, like, sustainable variable.
Yeah, the sustainable
genetics or something like that.
Foundation or whatever they call it. Yeah, I got you. So that's what your ship docks to. So your ship is probably the size of, one of these dotted rectangles up here at the top. Mm-hmm. Your ship's roughly that size, I imagine, compared to the rest of, these atmosphere processing towers and the rest of that ship in general.
Wow.
So with that, I have some narration to do. Your Magellan SEV docks gently to the UNCSS Ileana, secured to its docking ring alongside the 3 other SEVs. The Umsidisi, I'm not saying that right. There's no way I'm saying it right. But the Umsidisi, the Chimada no Kami, and the Typhoon. As the clamps thunder quietly shut, you send a cheerful message to the Ileana's captain, Tadesi Kondwani. Oh my god. You get a reply back saying, "See you in 2 years," coming back from the Ileana's ship's android Gaius, before you head down to your cryo deck aboard your vessel. Your ship's daughter flickers her lights and your canopy starts to close. The last thing you see is the slightly distorted image of your ship's working Joes, Marty, the female presenting one, and Daniel, the short-haired male presenting one. And the last thing you hear from their cookie-cutter plastic faces is one of them whispering, "Sleep well." 102 weeks and 5 days later, thousands of Wei dollars banked already. You think that this is a great way to make a living because you're getting quarter pay for each of those weeks that you're gone, and you're gone for like 100-something weeks. But you only think that for a little bit. You guys are all quite familiar with hypersickness as it kicks in, and for the next 20 minutes or so, you wish you're dead as you chug down hydration packs and whatnot, I'm sure. And then about an hour later, you're ready for your post-arrival briefing. You and the rest of the crew file quietly through the airlock, boarding the immense Ileana, where you eventually take a seat in a spacious mess hall alongside your fellow pioneers. The room.
This might legitimately be the first time Pike has seen Octavia, because she's good at hiding.
Yeah, and when I get through my narration, we'll have that moment, I'm sure. Let me see, where was I? You and the rest of the crew file quietly through the airlock, board the immense Ileana, where you eventually take a seat in the spacious mess hall alongside your fellow pioneers. The room buzzes with conversation, 100 voices all talking about the same thing. Have we arrived? What news from home? Why does the coffee still taste like shit?
Haven't improved the coffee.
What's that?
Haven't improved the coffee in 2 years.
Nope. Then Governor Kolwa Abantu stands at the front and calls for everybody to quiet down. And after a moment, he begins speaking. First, the good news. We have all arrived on the fringes of the Far Spinward Colonies without a hitch. Home is now 30 parsecs away behind us, or about 100 light years or so. Talking of home, here's the bad news. United Americas and the Union of Progressive Peoples are still at war. Fighting continues across the frontier, and hostilities appear to have no end in sight, as both nations continue to battle each other and struggle to contain their own colonies, as a few are threatening to break away. Furthermore, the new Albion Protectorate has broken away from the Three World Empire, for those that don't already know that, and while there are no hostilities yet, some fear it may come to blows. But the political stupidities of our governments do not change the situation here. We are a United Nations expedition and have a mission to fulfill for the good of humankind. So please, leave your petty political rivalries back in the Middle Heavens. Talking of bad news, we have not yet picked up any signals as we had hoped we would. What this says about the fates of the people out here, we won't know until we explore. As a precaution for now, we will keep 2 of our SCVs here with the Ileana and send out only 2, Typhoon and Solovetsky Island, to reconnoiter the old colonies. Good luck, everyone. Please be careful out there. And after a moment's silence, pandemonium breaks out right before you. Some of you probably wouldn't necessarily recognize these names outside of seeing a name in some sort of briefing dossier. Valentina Berezi of the United Americas leaps to her feet, pointing her finger at the UPP General Nerlin Ozelinsky. We could never trust you UPP bastards. Ozelinsky pulls himself up to his impressive height, tense but restrained. Others start to shout, while Colonel Buston and Liana Young-hee of the Three Worlds Empire try to intervene until they fall into an argument about the new Albion Protectorate. Wei-Yu Director Kamal Vatui stands still to one side, arms crossed, an onlooker, while Governor Abantu waves his arms in a futile attempt to restore peace. Electro Throop, the freelance search and rescue captain sitting near you guys, leans over calm and collected and says, I didn't think I'd have to rescue people from inside the mothership. Things have gone to shit already. You've just gotten here, and already people are like, hey, let's go back to our old habits of beating each other up.
Yeah, like Octavia just looks, he's like, can we leave now? I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, we got our mission.
As you say that, Captain Warren, there is 2 things to note. One, a bit of a brawl has broken out on the other side of the mess hall. Between some UA and some UPP. It looks like Valentina Berezi and Nerlin Ozelinsky will eventually get this under control, but at the moment they seem pretty well swamped trying to break up the fight and whatnot. The second thing you'll notice is that an android has sidled up to you. It's quite a display.
On the mothership. We're on like the main vessel, right? We're not on our little
this is not a working
ship.
Joe. This is not a working Joe. But this is recognizable as an android. One of the more recognizable models. You know, similar to what was his name in Aliens? Bishop?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Bishop, like the Bishop line and the Ash line. And...
Yeah, one of the Bishop lines. Who the name of the actor? I've got it, but I can't think of it. It's Lance something or other.
Henriksen? I think it's Henriksen.
I really liked his work, but anyway, he saddles up to you. He's like, quite a display, wouldn't you say? Not convinced that these missions shouldn't be Android only, if you ask me. And he hands you a disc. Let's just go with a CD. It's easier to explain. It's the space 80s. Well, maybe now we're in the space 90s. So instead of getting the big floppies, it's the hard floppies.
Hmm.
I'm sorry.
The
I need to
2.5.
interject just for a brief explanation of that stupid joke. So I started watching Stargate SG-1 the other day.
Okay.
And I've got like 18 or 19 out of the first 22 episodes of season 1 complete, right? And
wow.
this show initially aired in 1997. Around that time, the 3.5-inch floppies were being replaced steadily by the somewhat, what is it, like 2.5-inch hard floppies?
Yeah, 2.5, I think.
Yeah. So that's what made me think of it. Is he just gives you this like this envelope with a hard disk in it. Do you take it?
Do I recognize them at all?
Yes.
Other than...
You do recognize him from your mission briefings. He is the Ileana ship android Gaius. He is, for all intents and purposes, the operations officer.
Yeah, I mean, I would take the ship, the CD then, or the envelope.
Yep. So these are your assignments. I see little point in delaying your departure any further. Brief you in detail when you're underway.
Excellent. Thank you.
Godspeed. If you have any questions, of course, let me know. Otherwise, he pauses and he looks around and he kind of waves a little bit to the pandemonium chaos going on around. He's like, yeah, you're clear to launch whenever you're ready. Get out of this shit.
Thank you.
He probably doesn't say it quite like that, but
thank you so much. And as I hope that none of my crew are involved as I try to like get inventory on it and I like move out.
Yeah, I think most of your people are just kind of hanging near you. It seems like more some of the other ships or some of the Ileana crew.
Mm-hmm. How big is the crew, by the way, for the Sovetskis?
The island has a crew of about 12 or so. It's pinned in Discord.
Okay. Yeah, that's about right.
Let me make sure you guys can actually see this one. Should be able to. Nope. You can. Alright, let me zoom in a bit here, because there's a couple of systems that you are now available to go to. And I want to drop a token or something on them so you can see them. Where was... Okay. Let's see. Well, no, that's not what I wanted, but whatever. Sorry, I'm trying to find something. I thought there was tokens for the ship. I sworn there were. But apparently I was wrong. So we'll have to do... Oh, there is. I had it in the wrong spot. Okay. All right, so when you get back to your ship, I imagine you're going to want to look at the data on the disk pretty quick so you can figure out where you're going next.
Okay.
So you can go... I'm going to put the icon over the star, or as close to it as I can get. So that's one of them.
I don't see anything.
Do you not see this guy right here?
No, I see nothing.
You should be able to see that.
I don't.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's see.
I'm still looking at a map of the Ileana. So
yeah, he pulled me into a private, I think, or something.
No, I didn't pull anybody. You guys should be able to see this.
No, the only one in this room is me and you.
How about now? Oh, I see what I did. I forgot to hit save changes. How about now?
Oh, I see everything now.
Do you see the stars now?
A lot of stuff.
You should be able to see stars now. And do you see the ship?
I do see stars. I do see a ship, yes.
Okay, cool. So that ship is, as best as I can get, there's a dot right above it. That's one of them. The other one is 817. Where are you, 817?
So we got Gorham's.
Yep, Gorham's Colony is one of them. There's two others. I'm trying to find them. And they're being difficult. Ah, there
817's over here, yeah.
Yep, I see it.
Bram's Outpost.
Yep, Bram's, and then Platt's Outpost, which is 323.
Oh, it's
323.
right here.
Yep. And for simplicity's sake, let's say that the Ileana is somewhere out here.
Okay.
Out here. Because you're on the fringes. Yeah, so probably out here. And we're not going to worry about, like, obviously each one of these squares is a parsec, which is takes so many days to cross it at hyperspeed. We're not going to sweat all that stuff. But those are the 3 systems that you are able to go to based on your orders, and I will give you a brief rundown really quick. Starting with Plat Outpost. This is Koi 323.08. This is a world of steam vents and hot springs. A scientific outpost is home. This scientific outpost is home to aerobic microfauna of small plant-like organisms. And at one time, there was a record of 50 researchers calling that place home. You have Bram's Outpost. This is Koi 817.01. This is one of the coldest terraformed planets as of 2071, some 100+ years ago, with nighttime temperatures dropping to below negative 67 degrees Celsius. I forgot to look that up and see what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's fucking cold.
Very cold.
Yeah.
It is P and
67
P hard or it freezes.
I'm sorry, one more time.
It is P hard or it freezes in where it's coming from.
Yep. Negative 67 degrees Celsius is probably going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 or so degrees below zero. I don't do math very well, so I'm probably way off. Built on the precipice of an active volcano, the outpost soon spread down the side of the volcano. Key resources included cerium, lithium, aluminum, and methane. And then lastly is Gorham's Colony, or Koi 2650 something or other. I think I got that right. Yeah, 2650.01. Established in 2067 after nearly a decade of terraforming, this mining colony is named after industrialist and pioneer J.V. Gorham. The site of the deepest mine operations ever drilled, Gorham's mine shafts extend some 23 kilometers deep, and at its height, Gorham's colony reached a population of 1 million colonists. By 2108, Gorham himself had plans to increase mining production by introducing a tunneling creature native to the outer rim world Tartarus, the Harvester. I want you to picture a tardigrade the size of a fucking rhinoceros. That's about what it looks like. Except it burrows through the dirt and metal and eats everything. It is unclear if the shipment of harvesters ever made it to the colony before the Far Spinward Colonies were cut off from the mid-heavens. Those are your 3 choices. You guys may now, I would prefer, but I can't guide your hand too much here, I would prefer in-character discussion of what your next step is.
How does Warren make this decision?
That's
Warren
a great
likes
question.
the idea of hot springs and science outpost. Maybe get Westcott out of her shell a little bit.
I think the question that Kane was asking, and I could be wrong.
Yeah, like do you have a meeting? Do you call some people to your office to figure out like who you're going to be like pulling for information, or do you sit in your chair, stroke your chin, and make a decision and tell the pilot that that's where we're going?
That's pretty much what I was
see,
coming
that's
up
the
with.
thing. Yeah,
is this
see,
a
that's the
committee
thing.
decision, or is this a lead from the top?
You know what?
And
I'm
if
gonna pull everybody. It's only 12 people, so I'm gonna pull everyone into the briefing room.
Yeah, it is. Let me look at. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
You'll
11,
pretty
and
much
12.
have to call Octavia's datapad if you want her to actually show up somewhere.
Yeah.
On that note, I want Octavia to make her "Am I a good human being today?" roll, please.
Oh yeah, that's right. I should probably
You
do
thought
that.
I forgot, didn't you?
Well, let's see if
hoping
I
you
can get
forgot.
back into Foundry because it kicked some time to me out and then it didn't log my account out.
It
Oh,
is
yeah.
still showing
Nope.
you.
Yeah, I can't get in.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to roll that.
Okay, so if in the bottom left, you should be able to right click on row.
Kick player.
And just kick. Do not ban.
Yeah.
Just kick.
All right, you've been kicked. Try again.
Okay, let me refresh it. And it's still thinking.
It may take a moment.
Thinking's good. Thinking's good. Not doing the thinking and saying it doesn't work is bad.
There we go. Now that the current players have updated,
There you go.
I can log in again.
If
now
you
let's
want,
see if it loads.
If you guys want, I can put the ship back up, or we can leave it here so you guys can see what you're looking at.
We know where the briefing room is, right?
I mean,
There
it's
was a
gonna be
couple of different rooms that you could use.
It's basically probably the mess.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
big
There
room.
Buddy, the
actually
mess
is a
room's probably the
briefing
best.
room in the middle, just behind the flight deck.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like the Futurama episode. It's like, everyone into my
I'm having a
bedroom.
good day today, so I actually pay
Wow.
attention and listen to my orders on my tablet.
And she's not grumpy about it.
Hmm.
All right. Captain Warren, please take it away. You have options.
All right.
Gaius has given you your marching orders. It's now up to you to figure out how to do it.
Gaius handed him an envelope and then fucked off, right?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
pretty
you
much.
at this point, yeah. So Warren got the envelope, and then
I
you all went
reviewed
back to
it.
the ship. You've probably
I
separated from
reviewed it.
Ileana if you want,
Yeah.
and then you peruse this information, and then decide at this point, like, do you want to make the decision yourself, or do you want to have a committee? And if a committee, who is in the committee?
So I'd like to have everyone and kind of see where it goes from there. So if there's only how many people? Is like 12
There's
or
12
14?
total on the ship.
Okay.
Well,
So I'm
14
gonna
if you
pull.
include the working Joes that nobody cares about.
They're not going to be included.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I don't need that much damage control.
You don't need Pike beating the shit out of them every day.
No. All right, so everyone, I called you into a meeting. We're going to be discussing our first drop location. Isn't that exciting, everyone? So we've got a couple places here. We've got a historical site, lots of mines and lots of good places to hide things and whatever. There was a big colony. It seems to have fallen apart. We don't know what happened to it. Also the mention of maybe little large monsters that dig and claw through the earth. I don't know. Either way, probably not a really important detail. So then after that, we have hot springs and science labs. How does that sound? And after that, we also have another big location, uh, really cold planet, but if you like skiing, perfect.
I love how Warren is just like playing these colonies up.
Yeah. So
We can
I'm
talk
thinking-
about pricing for timeshares whenever you're ready.
Right? Exactly. Exactly. I'm in investment ground level right now.
You want to get in. This is where you want to get in at right here, right now.
Right here.
I think you get from the NPCs a general mix of it doesn't matter where we go, boss. You're the boss. You tell us where to go. We take us there. And then the other half are kind of like, I don't know anything about. Like none of these sound any more particularly interesting than the others. Although maybe that one with all the people on it.
Yeah. So, I look at the crowd. I think, okay, so we have a prospector, we have a scout. We have an idea what the. Let me see here. I think you already sent me everything that I needed. No, you didn't. Okay. So mission directive was find out.
Oh,
what
you
happened.
wanted the contract and all that stuff.
Yeah. So we'll do that after. I'll peruse
You guys
that.
are good. Go ahead and do what you're doing, and then I will find it for you.
Okay. So the way that I'm looking at it is if we go to Gorham's colony, it's probably familiar territory. We just need to find out what's going on over there and see if we can reestablish or need to reestablish colony there. I think that's probably going to be our first stop. Unless anyone has any objections, we can get the prospector going into to see if we have any cool materials or anything that we can get. Scout out that. Let's see. So I point to the prospector. What do you think?
Give me 1 second. I'm about ready to take a screenshot. Give me just a second here.
Okay.
And then the prospector, I think that's this one.
Emily Quintana.
Yep.
Emily Quintana.
Let's see. Okay. Well, I think the mine is probably a good choice. Probably get some really good assessment out of that. The other option would be the volcano that had the researchers because of the different minerals that might be available. If we can find some there, obviously we get a finder's fee and some potential bonuses if things pan out there. So that would be my vote, one of those two. But you're the boss,
So
so I'm just gonna...
Brahms or Gorams.
Correct. Yes, those. She gives you. I want to be clear. She gives you that look of like you could have said alphabet zebra, and she'd have been like, yes, those. She doesn't say that, but like you definitely get that vibe from her.
I'm getting a vibe that I should probably pick my committees better. Thank you, everybody.
I'm just trying to make things funny. Don't let me get in your way.
I know.
Pike will ask,
Mhm.
do we have access to a proper survival equipment for that cold environment?
That's a good
Out of
point.
character,
Do we
the
have
answer to that question is yes.
Out of character, the answer to the question is yes. Okay. So who would have been responsible for that? I guess storage and whatever. Just
I think a
whoever's...
collective would have. I think what you get is a handful of people looking back at you, Pike, and they're all like, yeah, we've got cold weather, hot weather, extreme, vacuum. We've got it all.
Actually, that might be something Tan was responsible for since he's the inspector.
Yeah, he might have said something about it. I think generally across the board, the NPCs are all like, yeah, we got that stuff.
Yeah. Do you have training in that stuff?
Sure. Now that is an interesting question because I think you get a wide variety of answers. You get everything from, yeah, sure, we're good, absolutely not, to, yeah, we're good. The confident, yeah, we're good. Without even looking at these guys' stats, I would imagine that there's probably about a 50-50 on it. At best.
All right. And Octavia, are you feeling up to possibly doing a scientific expedition?
Octavia would look at you and look at the 3 options on the map and say, Platt's outpost is probably the good middle ground. There's less people. There's only 50 researchers. Means we're not dealing with an entire potential million-plus population. And it's the least hostile between the 2 small ones. Bram's outpost is super cold. Steam vents, minor microbial things. That looks like it should be no hostile vegetation, flora, fauna, any of that problems. It's just a matter of good checking on these guys, see if they're still there or not. It's probably the easiest.
50 researchers. I think this is the prospector speaking up again. I think she's like 50 researchers 100 years ago. That's going to be a couple thousand or none, or anywhere in between. So I'm not the scientist. I'm not the what's the people scientist? Anthropologist?
Yeah, I mean, if they've done well, it might be a few hundred. There's
I'm
not
a
enough
prospector,
for...
not an anthropologist.
Yeah, exactly.
100 years is an average of 3 or 4 generations.
Yeah.
And frankly, if they're such a small outpost,
I look for shiny rocks and nice metal in the ground. I don't math, except for when it comes to my paycheck.
Yeah. If they kept up, I'd be surprised if there had been more than 200 people there. Because outpost isn't sustainable for huge population.
It's got to have actual people coming in and out of it, almost like a tourist spot. If
it's a hostile environment. They have a prefab that's of a certain size. They only have so much food, water, and air to support so many people.
Yeah. All right, so we'll do a flyby by plates. Plate, whatever. If they respond from low orbit or high orbit, we can pass by and go to the mines. Actually, no, Brams, I guess. No, the mines. That way there we can knock 2 birds out with 1 stone.
We might want to actually land and see what's up, because they might have had some, even if they're not there, they might have some interesting research.
Oh yeah, we'll do a flyby.
What about those long data discs we got to get from these different colonies if we can find them?
That would require body on site.
He's with his arms crossed, leaning against the back wall, says, And what if the scientists are full of shit?
Who cares?
Well,
I think you get that from the pilot Dudge. He is
Dudge.
Yeah. If you forget, you guys can't really mouse over these guys too much. He's the one with the kind of grumpy face, big nose, hair coming down a little bit in his bangs.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah, he hang on, I'm reading this shit. He's got a bit of a grisly look to him, like he's been around. Pike, you probably would pick up a little bit of his. He can definitely carry himself.
Okay.
And he says, "Yeah, I don't care if science guys are full of shit or not. We get the data disk. Nothing there, nothing there. If something's there, we call it in. I don't. What are we committing this for, boss? Where are we going?"
All right, fine. We're going to plate.
You got it.
It seems like it's the least lethal option of this. It's a nice warm up. We'll get this done.
Right on. I'll start setting the course. And then he'll look over to one of the working Joes and be like, "I guess you should probably go get the sleepy thing done." And he fucks off to the flight deck. We're going to plants.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and slide his token away so it will represent that he's not there anymore. I forgot. Maybe the working Joes aren't actually nearby, but maybe he speaks into like a PA system or something. Working Joes, go fire up the cryo. I can speak.
Turn on the Cairo systems.
I wonder, I wonder if maybe he seems as a guy that would speak English fairly well, so that wouldn't work out, but
may I introduce y'all to the Southern accent and how many different variations of ridiculousness that comes with?
I think the rest of it, like, wait, let me be clear first. Are you saying that in character, and who's saying
Out
that?
of character, I'm teasing you.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, no, I've definitely heard some crazy things come out of people's mouths, and some of them are from the South, and some of them are, well, they're not. I have said plenty of shit. You guys have heard me say it.
I'm from the deep south of Canada, and
which is really just
the
northern
rest of
U.S. But okay.
Yeah, but the Canadians don't let us off the hook about it. It's hilarious.
I'm sure it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Anything else? So I think our next session is we're gonna go check out what's going on at Platt's thingy.
Yeah.
Platt's
So
outpost.
the whole briefing, Octavia would be the first one out that door if you let her. Go right back
She's
to her
allowed.
corner.
It's like there's lots of people out here, and I don't like it.
This might be the longest any of them have seen her sit in one place. Other than that trip to the mothership.
So have I, just in like the short time of like taking the shower and putting stuff around and like going to this whatever, like, have I seen basically everybody else who stays in my bunk room come and go? Have I figured out that it's Octavia is the one who doesn't sleep there?
I think
Probably.
make a wits roll, Pike, and see maybe if it takes another
we've
couple
only
of days
been
for you to figure it out.
awake in real space probably for maybe a week or two. We've been on ice for quite a long time.
Yeah,
But
that's
it's
what I'm
very
saying, like,
obvious that the bunk under yours is undisturbed.
yeah.
Shocking.
I forgot you had just one. I knew it was really low, but that it was just one it's always a bit of a shock.
Can you at least let him roll observation?
Yes, that's fine. Yeah, observation. Go ahead. He's probably got like 17 dice.
Observe.
I mean, he is here to be the scout.
Well, he's got a bit of a tremble for some reason. Clear your panic. You're not getting that. That seems kind of silly for you to be like, oh, I guess that's Westcott's bed. Why am I shaking about this?
I'm shaking in rage.
Right?
Her hospital corners are shit.
Well,
no. Fuck it. That's
Only
canon now. That's exactly what it is. You pick up on it's her because of the fucking hospital corners and how shitty they look. They're just loose. It is nowhere near 45. In fact, it's one of those that's like straight up and down almost.
Oh my god.
Like the bed is undisturbed and it's slightly dusty. He's mad about the hospital corners that I don't use.
Yes. For
He's
pillow
gonna-
cover, you know how you have the second wool blanket, the pillow cover is, it's just sloppy. It's sloppy.
Oh, man.
It's like it almost looks like somebody sat there at one point.
He'll follow her out.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna wait till we're like far enough down the hallway so that we're not all just like gaggle fucked at the exit to the briefing room.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is
Waiting
walking
for
back
everybody to
towards
get out of the way.
science. Because technically the science bays are her domain.
Getting back to your roots, Octavia.
She would turn and look at you. Yeah. I should point out she does not look the same either. Her hair is also grown out. Hers is just like wavy and brown. And she is probably a lot thinner and lighter and notably less muscle mass than she was in the Marines. And she's probably wearing a variation of ship clothing and oversized shirt or oversized sweater. If she is straight up not carrying the Whoopee around, she probably has that tucked wherever she slept last. So she definitely is not looking the same as she did before. Not sure if Pike would immediately notice, but actually he probably would clock the fact that she is not in shape like she was before, because it's been a year of not working out or combatives or anything like that. She just looking, shrugs, raised eyebrows. Just science things. More Comtech, except more.
Yeah. The other whatever other science shit is. You lost weight.
Yeah. She would probably like keep walking as we're talking back towards science.
Yeah. Are you sick?
Not really.
Do you ever figure out the do you ever figure out that focus thing?
She literally just kind of like turns and does the grand hand spin. Well, my siblings decided that a trip into deep space might do me good. So here I am.
Warren decided that a trip in deep space would be good for me.
My siblings called up Warren and got us jobs, apparently.
Yeah, I called him up and he gave me a job.
Wonder why Matthew likes handing out jobs.
Did he pick all of this crew?
No.
Honestly, I'm not sure. Doesn't
Or
make much of a
secretly-
difference at this point.
Yeah.
We're 2 years out under ice, so
I just want to establish who matters.
you'd have to ask him. I was a late arrival. I think you're the only one who showed up after me, actually.
Yeah, we did a mid-transit docking. My pilot decided that it would be smart. It's like for Octavia, that it reeks 100% of like I'm giving you the cover story and I'm saying it in a way that makes it so fucking obvious that it's not true.
Story. Just go with it.
Yeah, I mean the way he's saying it is like because it's you, I'm telling you is bullshit. But I'm saying what I'm saying because it's what I'm supposed to say.
They tell you what you're doing on the ship yet?
I'm supposed to be the scout. I'm supposed to help apparently you and the prospector.
Yeah. Well, come on. I'll initiate you in the handful of I know how to dig a hole and put it in a glass vial. Not too bad.
Hmm. I'm also supposed to be your wildlife solution.
Oh, good, good. I don't want anything biting me in the ass while I'm digging up rocks out of the ground.
Are you kidding about the digging shit, putting it in tubes thing?
No, you could just stand guard. I'm just explaining. That's more of a prospector thing, but some of the stuff I would need is I get to not only dig up little bits of dirt, if we get plants or water or anything slimy that or looks like mushrooms we get to collect samples for. The joys of xenobiology science.
Or anything new that lives out there?
Oh, I'm sure we're gonna run into some more of those pesky things that they Wayland Utani didn't want to tell us about. Somehow they had to have come from somewhere. So I kind of doubt that Wayland Yutani had their shit together enough to breed entire monsters like that.
I, if you say so, I believe you. I don't really know any of that.
I
Yeah,
want to
so
have one of
she-
the NPC guys come behind you and be like, what are you talking about? Wayland Utani breeding programs. What are you... Jesus Christ, lady. But I don't know which one would do that.
None of them, because we're purposely walking away in such a way that they can't hear this.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
So
That's
yeah,
fair.
she would probably just drop in the second science bay and go about stuff. It's like, okay.
How do you feel about this arrangement with Warren?
Means I'm not the one responsible for babysitting people.
He just sort of shrugs and he's like, that did get old. I'll give you that. It didn't always turn out badly.
I mean, we mostly got y'all home in one piece. I mean, Matthew's short a few pieces, but what's his name? Watcher fucked off real fast.
I don't think he liked me.
I don't think he liked any of us.
Yeah, I could see that. What do
You
you?
run it.
I,
Did Tam piss you off yet?
I know. I've already asked Warren in front of that loser's face how much trouble Warren would get in if I broke his jaw. I think we've established boundaries.
Good man. I clap you on your shoulder or on your arm because your shoulder's kind of high. Yeah, I purposefully don't work in the lab when he's awake. Keeps him from bugging me.
I don't really have anything to do on the ship. I only have a job off the ship.
Mm.
Unless there's
Well,
something I don't know about in your science department. Going places and dealing with wildlife is not, I mean, it's descriptive enough, but, doesn't tell me anything about what I should be doing here right now.
we can find something to do. If nothing else, you can help me camp out away from the rest of these motherfuckers. My siblings
Yeah,
are.
you have siblings here? How many did you bring?
Oh, yeah, that's true. So before I joined the Corps, uh, Finn and Nina and I did the paperwork to be formal legal siblings. We're all from the same orphanage thing.
You
So we're legally
you
siblings.
you
Um,
mentioned that. I mean, I
with
remember when we talked in mess, you mentioned that you lived with other orphans, but you didn't really talk about them too much.
mm-mm. They stayed. I'm the oldest of us. They stayed civvies, took off different paths. I went to the Marines, popped back out, went to live with them for the year, and then they ended up dragging me out here to Matthew, and now we're 2 years into ice and then deep space.
Hmm.
You might like Nina. She has a mouth on her.
Think she'd back up that mouth?
She's good at fixing shit.
Well, if she's good at her job, she's worth some respect.
Mm-hmm. Uh,
Unless there's anything else we need to hit on here, I think this is a good point to wrap for the night. We have a destination selected, so I think we get a little bit of a montage of people climbing back into sleeper pods and the ship drifting further and further away from the Ileana. Let's talk about experience points. Obviously, you get one for participating in the session. Did anybody risk or sacrifice something to further your agenda? I don't believe the answer is yes. That came out a little weird. I think the answer is no. Let me put it that way.
none of us risked anything today.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Unless one of you guys have the agenda of sticking it to ICC, dude.
I
think
mean,
it's in everybody's
so
agenda now.
I, that's a good point because of my agenda. Like, that's my stuff for my agenda. And like, my whole thing is to be that shield of violence for my former Marines. And I don't fucking care about anybody else on the ship. And I've already caused problems with the ICC guy. I've caused problems with the ICC guy for the captain. Like I've already caused a ton of problems with that guy.
Yeah.
Specifically to hold, I specifically like fucked with the job and Warren and everything for my agenda.
I'll give it
Showed
to
up
you.
to the showed up on the ship and was a fucking problem.
Yeah, I'll give that.
Right after being in the
Immediately.
airlock saying I'm not here to be a problem.
Yeah. I'm not here to be a problem. Immediately becomes a problem. Let's see. Did you risk your life for your buddy? I don't think you had any of that. Challenge or stand up to your rival? I don't think we really had any of that because I don't think we had a lot in the way of player character interaction that was rival-ish.
No.
We didn't. Well, no, I take that back. I guess Pike did make a panic roll, inadvertently causing one.
I did make a panic roll with the ICC guy when I tried not to just rip his fucking head off for talking back to me.
Go ahead and take that
I
one.
can make an argument for my agenda because I started off hiding and causing problems.
You know what? What's your agenda?
Hers is specifically escape the pain at the moment. And that's a starter agenda. That's not going to be the one for this entire game, like the last one was.
Yeah, I mean, you did make it a pain in the ass to find you, so go ahead and take one for that. Let's see. Did you overcome a dangerous event using violent or non-violent means? I don't think we had any dangerous events. Blatchman gets a point.
We chose
very
to
nearly to.
We chose to run away from a fist fight.
Nobody actually started. Well, ooh, man, you guys are
really
reaching for that.
You were very clear that a fight had started, and you added.
Oh, you're talking about that one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
We screwed right off on that one.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Okay.
Do we have any significant discoveries or revelations? Discuss.
I mean, drama event of wars.
Yeah, we did learn that
apparently
in the
these,
last 100 years.
Motherfuckers on our mothership over there are unstable as fuck.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that one.
So that's what, like 3/4 points?
Yeah.
The significant discovery or revelation. No, we just did that one. Sorry. Extraordinary action of some kind. I don't think we had any. And no, you don't get to say I restrained myself from punching Blatchman in the face. You get no, that doesn't count.
I would have tried to make the argument if I decided to punch him and I just straight killed him in one punch. Been like, but no, I'm making no argument.
The final question I'm going to modify for this series. Previously, if you were getting a paycheck, you were getting an experience point, which basically amounted to 2 points minimum every session. So I'm going to modify that. Did you earn any money is the official question. I'm changing it slightly to this. For this campaign, a simple paycheck is not quite enough. In other words, you need to get some sort of bonus in order to get that experience point. So when you go file a report, or you discover something and you bring back evidence or what have you as per your contractual obligations, you do something like that that earns you a little extra money, then you get that extra experience point. Is everybody cool with that, or would you like to fist fight me for it?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Challenge you to a sword fight.
Done. Name your
Okay.
place and location. That's the same thing. Time and location. The moon. Tomorrow
No,
morning.
Three hours
do
from
like,
now at his place, or you forfeit.
Right? That's where I was going with that.
Yeah, I actually do like the idea of like a bonus, or even just like when we get our paycheck to get the point.
Yeah, I think that.
What if you found a way to earn something you found a way to earn something of monetary value outside of your paycheck?
I think
Yeah,
that's.
that's
I
what
think
I
that's
think he's
more or less
going
where I was
for.
trying to go. I think you just found a way to
Yeah.
word it better.
So like, we find a resource deposit.
Yep.
We find a interesting piece of information or specimen or stuff like that. We successfully
Or-
retrieve one of those stupid long data things.
Yeah, that's
Or
pretty much where I was
we-
going.
I have an
with it.
idea.
Or we steal some stuff and we sell it to people on the mothership.
It's an option. What you
Okay.
go ahead. Lodi.
Well, let's say you find an actual literal gold mine, one episode, and then you get one experience point, and then the next episode you find a coin on the ground.
And you get another one.
Well, I was thinking about this between the two seasons, and while I don't necessarily think we did that part wrong previously. I think what the intent really was is that when you look at a lot of the missions and whatnot in the core rule books and stuff, a lot of them are like you're doing stuff to get paid. So when you get paid, which is kind of nebulous and vague, that's when you would get that experience point. And we assumed,
Yeah.
being Marines, you're always going to be getting paid because you're getting a paycheck every month, period, unless you have disciplinary actions or something. And I was like, okay,
Which
well
we
that makes
docked
sense.
someone.
I'm sorry.
We docked Winston.
Yeah,
Which was-
Winston
for
got
one-
docked early
For
on.
one session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and I think that worked for that sort of story, but this one's slightly different. It's not a straight up military action, so it's not going to be a guaranteed paycheck all the time. I mean, obviously you guys are getting paid, but the flip side is you're not getting this money brought to you. It's probably being held in a bank back in the middle heavens, back home, and they're just crediting you money every week until you return. Or maybe
Why do
there's
I
a
get the
central
feeling that
computer on the
Alito is
Iliana
about
that's
to be-
tracking everybody's bank account. I don't know.
Yeah. It'll be
Why
really
don't-
hard to barter and trade unless you had a pillowcase full of cash.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you saying,
Yeah.
Rodance?
Why do I get the feeling that Alita's going to become a card shark?
Because wasn't Warren supposed to be a card shark?
It's Warren.
He can't be the
Yeah.
card shark anymore. He has to be the upstanding captain who teaches you how to be a card shark when nobody's watching.
And Alita is the one who's I'm not the primary security officer lady. So
At least not
Yeah.
right now.
And you know
and
what?
she was what is she like, a cop or a colonial officer in between or something?
She's
Yeah.
a marshal, yeah.
What I think is great is Pike has already found one person that he's met new on the ship that he thinks he might like.
Who's that? The Marine?
The Marine.
The Royal Marine? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and he's like, if she actually goes down to the cargo hold and fist fights him, he'd be like, okay, I might actually be able to make a friend on this ship.
You know what? Let me see what her shit is. Where is she?
God, poor Westcott's gonna get dragged to that. She's gonna look at that and go, nah.
She's gonna have fucking flashbacks.
Okay. Well, she's got a fairly decent chance of holding her own against most people.
I guess
Oh,
most
she and I
people.
could probably move evenly before I, deducted all my points. But Pike is just gonna own my ass again.
Oh, of course.
Pike
Of course.
has been
'Cause I'm down to
downgraded,
1 point in
but
close
Pike is still
combat.
Pike.
I love how you're like, Pike has been downgraded, and the first thing I look at is the actual number of dice you just rolled. Not the fact that there was a bunch of fucking dice, but the specific number.
Yeah.
You had more
Well, Pike is
successes
still
than I
Pike.
just rolled dice.
Is that true?
I think so.
Yeah.
2, 2, 4,
It
5,
is.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same number. I rolled a number of successes equal to the number of dice you rolled.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So
And
yeah,
you still haven't
it'll be
pushed.
an interesting fist fight. It won't last
Yeah.
very long.
I'm back down to 3 dice. So
What a mean GM to nerf you guys between campaigns.
Oh no.
I do think this could be funny because like Pike coming on is still he's super fun. He's been alone for almost a year in a fucking jungle.
Yeah.
On top of him already being bad at dealing with people.
Yep.
But like punching a mirror in the face is gonna be like a form of cathartic communication of like I can still talk to people here. You're my
look at
kind
my
of person.
stat. It's better than Pike's.
Well, you're
I
way the
finally
fuck
found a stat
smarter.
where I'm better than you are.
Yeah. You're
And
way
that's
smarter.
without her washful modifier.
All right. Anything
Mm.
else? We can go ahead and wrap this up.
No, I think that's everything.
Okay. Well, that is it for us here tonight. Thank you, my friends, for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the show. We are back. We may have had another semi-slow start, similar to our semi-slow start for the beginning of Along the Frontier. But as we all know, in this game, everything starts nice and easy, and then the shit hits the fan. Sometimes even literally. So don't be afraid to stick around and continue as the story progresses. This is going to be an adventure, for sure, I promise. Whether or not the same 4 or 5 player characters start, or excuse me, I cannot guarantee the safety of any of these player characters, whether they're player characters or non-player characters. One of them has already gotten on the bad side of a super big guy. At any rate, that is it for us here tonight. Stay safe out there, my friends. This world is a crazy dark place, so make sure you're doing what you gotta do to take care of you and yours. And as for me and mine, we are out of here. See you next time. Have a good one.